Alright, yeah. We're gonna be kind of chill. To beat up balls today. That's really all we can beat up balls, big game. Calming. But that seems good, no? It's a good start. What sucks is there's certain music I just can't play. I gotta really put in one of these days until like that I can and can't play. Really figure that out. Figure out what I do and don't like. I really like those music. I'm gonna do is just beat the boss for 27 hours. I was just thinking about playing this game. I don't know. I was watching someone play it and I was just like, huh. I played a little bit of OG Hollow Knight yesterday. I was just like, oh man. There's things I like about SilkSong. Like, I'm not a 100% hater of the game. Movement does feel good, we'll say. That's not necessarily think about, but it is true. We've been doing some studying to give y'all some drop. We've been doing some studying for like school and all that. It's been like D8. I gotta move stuff to be honest. That's just yeah, just die. I don't understand this fight. Don't. I remember not liking it though. That part's still consistently true. I don't think this is a good fight. Even if I, one of the worst things about whenever there's like a, you know, I think this is more so true for like boss fights and things. Whenever there's like a boss fight, whether you first try the boss fight or like it takes you a bit to beat it. I think one of the most interesting things, whenever you have a complaint, there's two types of complaints you can have, which is one could be that it's too easy, but one could be that it's too hard. This one's not that I don't think it's too hard. I don't think it's just, I think it's just uninteresting. I don't think this is. I think the other boss fight I did was way more interesting. This one, like I've seen Absolute Radiance, or I guess Radiance. There's like different versions of Radiance, but like I've seen Radiance. This is like seems like an off-brand version of that, basically. Actually, so annoying to try to hit. That hits me. Jump. I was trying to float there. I just want that to be understood. I die. I don't like this fight. I really don't. I feel like my eyes have to do a lot of. It's like the constant running away and everything. I feel like this fight, if you got Silk from hitting the blades, or you could block the blades, that could make this fight like significantly cool. Because then it would feel like, okay, there's like outplaying running things, but it like just feels very, boring, you know? It's not quite interesting that I feel like I would expect a grand final wrap up game of this caliber to be. It seems so, I don't know, it's just so lackluster. I feel like I can't be the only one that shares this opinion. Gotta be other people. Maybe it's just because I don't know those other people that it seems like it's just me. But whenever I do that right there, what is that? That hits me. I forgot that I take 3 days off that. Dude, I tried to float there and forgot that that's not how this game works. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to explain it. This fight feels kind of like luck, and that might be fine for some people, but oh my god, like, how am I supposed to know that it's coming after me? I feel like this fight is probably not that bad if you have don't have pogo, or sorry, not pogo, but if you don't have double jump, man. This fight sucks with double jump, no? Oh, tried to hit her. Dude, like, I don't know. Like, what do I'm not even joking. I genuinely don't know what you're supposed to do there. I don't know. Safe, it's not. Yeah. This fight with Double jump is so hard. It overrides your input, but like, can you turn double jump off? Can you take it off? Is that my problem? Do I have it on? And it could be taken off. Wait, hold on. Maybe it could be taken off. You see it? Do y'all even see it? Because I don't see it at all. I couldn't tell you which of these is. No, not even lying. Bay down cloak. Can I take it off? Like you know what I'm saying? I promise you I don't need it. It is actively hurting me. Fight is so hard. I don't want. It's so incredibly difficult to do this fight with this stupid ability. It overrides, like, my brain knows what it wants to do. Not like my brain doesn't understand. The fact that, like, right here, I'm holding the thing, but it takes priority. I don't know if it's that way in Hollow Knight 1 as well, but I hate unskippable cutscenes and fights. This game does a lot of things that I don't really. I'm trying to be a hater. Really, it's in the title description, but I don't like that. Really don't like that. There's nothing wrong with having a cutscene, but like it being unskippable is like, brother. I know who she is. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I hate that one of the knife things is also delayed. I was trying to go right side there. I was trying to float, but I forget you can't float. I got hit by it. Get enough silk there. That ran into that. Oh, huh. I'm a big fan of this. Really not. I don't even know if she has a phase 3 yet. That's kind of crazy to me. I can't say I didn't try. I didn't jump. That hits me. This fight. Oh. Would it be faster if I were to not jump? Don't know. Oh, dang her. You know what I was thinking about doing in this fight, which is kind of funny. I was thinking about using the Abyss Shriek. The Abyss Shriek is only in Hollow Knight 1. I was like, you know, this fight would not actually be that bad if I could just like Abyss Shrieker. You don't have I guess you have the Silk Spear, or Silk Storm, or whatever it's called, but not that good here, in my opinion. If you're like, oh, I forget what there is. If you're like solid here, then it's probably fine, but I don't think I like it. Doesn't die. She just eating bullets, bro. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just dead. I was trying to get my hook thing there. I needed it, but like I had any money anyway. This fight is the death of me. Yeah. I'm quite sure that this boss is I've died the most currently of any boss, and like by a large margin at that. If I had to guess, gun in my head told me to guess a number, I'd say my deaths right now are probably 45s, 50s, around. Like I haven't died to any other boss. Before this, my most died boss was 24 deaths, and that was to a boss in Act 1. That's crazy. Dude, I really wish I could like understand what this boss fight is like from people who don't have the cloak. I feel like this fight would be, it wouldn't be more enjoyable for sure, but it would be way more manageable. Wait, if I get this, do I get like full silk or? Oh, I wasn't even looking. Done with that? Dang, whatever. That was kind of fire that we dodged damage like that, right? I don't know how I took no damage. I don't even know what hit me. Monster hitbox. That. Oh, I thought it was. I couldn't see. That's the best part about this fight is how much you just can't see, how much you take damage to like not being able to visually. I wish you could. I feel like this fight could be cooler too if you could like hang on the walls here more. Oh. Just a lack of counterplay. I didn't know where to go. I was scared. Oh. I really hope there's not no needles over here, cause do they go away by themselves, or did I hit that? I saw it too. Like, what is that? Why do I hear a parry sound every now and then? Sorry, I'm kind of locked in. I'm not talking. I'll heal. I know. Wait, what is this? Oh. Dude, was that it? God, this fight. Let's be. What is it? Dude, this fight's not. I'm like, I'm so sorry. This fight's just not very. It's not better than the Lace fight. It's just not. Wait, whoa. Wait, maybe it is better than Lace fight. What's that? Wait, y'all see my health? Wait, that's kind of fire, actually. Hold on. Wait, this is gonna be my first like upgrade this whole act. Like, not even joking. Okay, okay. Hold on. No, they're kind of ODing. No. Wait, what? No, no, no. I'm about to be overpowered for Act 3. Wait, hold on. This is actually. Wait, hold on. Can I? Oh, I can't. You guys aren't nice. It doesn't matter. So I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what I'm looking at. I feel like I'm supposed to have music on during this, and not having music on now has actually kind of ruined the atmosphere a bit. No. Be grandmother's combined. A game by team. Wait, credits. Oh my. Wait, no, I definitely should have audio. We're gonna try to figure out how to skip this. It not even like. Yeah, it's literally not like. Okay, I'm just gonna put the music. It's not letting me. Finally, you beat the game. What time is it? It's 1:36 a.m. I can't escape this hateful air. I don't understand. Dude, I can't skip this, by the way. Like, I'm trying to like skip and keep it pushing, but I can't. Actually, they're forcing me to. Oh. Extra special thanks. They like this game. The credit shouldn't even be long if the team of people is only like 3 people. I just thought about it. Oh, through the darkness and day, we're exploring the whole night so long. Communicating on the road ahead. Game completion. 27 hours, 22 minutes. Ah, bad, not too bad. Steel Soul mode unlock. No reviving. Death is permanent. We will not be doing that, chat. You can finally do Steel Soul mode. Let's go. Yeah, yeah. Like I never did. Let's just go back to this cave. What happens? There's still. Oh, okay. Give me my items back. New mission. Aren't the one who haunts the lands of Farlow? Defeat the Pale Monarch. Who's the Pale Monarch? There's somebody else up there? Yeah, no, it is this way. You get a different pair or something. Oh. Alright, let's eat body. Maybe a different person? No, it's the same person. She Grandmother Silk. See, why does it say Grandmother Silk? To defeat the Pale Monarch, though. This fight sucks. Like, I'm even doing it again right now. This fight is so boring. This fight sucks compared to the lace fight. I have a habit of dashing. It like punishes your dash habit if you have that. Did I miss them? Shield. I low-key forgot that it can be delayed. Wait, no, that's actually clutch, no? That's actually kind of clutch, no? Kind of fire. Dude, I figured you can dash down. Like I need to remember that. This fight's so boring. Like it's just having to redo it again. It just reminds you of like this is not one of the better fight systems in this game. I actually would rather have to fight the Savage Beast Fly again 20 times over before fighting this boss one. Like it's that boring in comparison. Wait, this is end up. Wait, use my fleeches? I don't want my fleeches. Can't see where it's coming from. There's a bunch of stuff being thrown at you. Like, the fight's not creative at all. Oh. Oh god, I hate this fight. This fight's so boring. This fight's actually so boring. Wait, so does something like happen? I just fought it for the second time now. I think the most interesting thing about me is the fact that like once I beat a boss that I struggled on, I become capable of like beating the boss without dying the next time. Just so interesting because it's the same thing that happened in Elden Ring. When I've done like a run back, even though it's short-lived of a run back, but when I've done like run backs of bosses, like for example, like you get to fight Margaret 3 times in the game, right? And so when I fight him all 3 times, I beat him first try, or like first time I like struggle with him, and then the second and third time I don't struggle anymore. At least for his first phase. Third part, his first phase is easy, but it's his next phase after that I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know this moveset, obviously. But once I know your moveset, it's just like, oh, you're like I can read you like a book. Also, I can't skip still. Okay. If you're watching this live, well, you're cooked like me. But if you're not watching this live, then no, I'm actually stuck watching. That's so funny. So you can go to the title scene twice. I mean, okay. Well, here, while it does that, we're gonna watch a lore video. Try to figure out what the lore of this whole thing is. Let me pull this up for you guys. You guys can see it with me. feel like I should do this on a day where like I wanted to do this on a different day. Display capture. Oh, you guys do see display capture. Oh, you guys aren't supposed to see it. Oh well, it's fine. It doesn't work. This is the video I got recommended.
This video
one here.
will explain the entire story of Hollow Knight's SilkSong.
Off the death counter.
We'll be going over the backstory of the kingdom, the events that led to its downfall, the main story, and its endings. I'll also be recapping some old events within Hollow Knight when necessary, so if you've never played the first game or don't remember much of that entry, then I have you covered.
Sorry, this is spoiler for Hollow Knight.
I also want to issue a massive spoiler warning for the game, especially since we'll be talking about some endgame content very early in this video, so please be sure to beat the game and come back. As always, like the video if you enjoy and subscribe if you're new. Feel free to check out my other story videos here on the channel, or donate to the Patreon linked in the description if you'd like to support me further. And so, without further ado,
go back.
Let's get Patreon linked in the description if you'd like to support me.
Wait, pause. Okay, there we go. This seems interesting, and then this seems interesting too. I don't know what the story of Night Rain is.
Me further. And so, without further ado, let's get started. Our story begins in the kingdom known as Farloom. Farloom in our time is run by a monarch, one who we will discuss in much greater detail later. But Farloom as a kingdom existed before the arrival of this monarch.
This game looks better quality than mine, no? That's kind of...
4 tribes were known to have existed before their arrival. To the southeast is a place known as the Far Fields and Hunter's March. It's not clear if these places were nameless before the monarch's arrival, but that's what they are called in game, so we'll go with these names for now. Within this region was a tribe of ants known as the Scar, led by their leader Carmelita.
Who's this?
She was considered the song queen of the Scar and was their most talented warrior.
Who is this?
They seem to be a rather ruthless tribe. The various members of their tribe mostly focus on hunting and gathering. Larger creatures like the Scar Guard, Scar Stalker, and Scar Scout train to be warriors and serve their queen, although only the greatest amongst them would be considered worthy enough to defend the queen herself.
Hey, chat.
One specific Scar named Gur the Outcast was known as an expert hunter and was always willing to tackle larger and larger prey, with their kills being proudly displayed in their room. The Scar can be seen adorned in bones, which they use as fashion accessories or weapons, and their territory is littered with numerous traps that were designed to catch prey. With this in mind, it's assumed that the entire tribe was trained for combat from birth, but not all the tribesmen were suited for combat. Creatures like the Scarwing could hunt, but they were used as support for the larger ants, and Scarlids were trained, like real ants, to collect the scraps and spoils and bring them back to base. To the northwest lived the people of the Coral. Known as the Sands of Karak, these beings were another hardy and ruthless tribe. Their leader was Crust King.
What in the... I was about to try to recap what's going on. First off, 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, and whatever this is, 9. He has 9 health? He has 9 health? Brother, where are you at?
Who was able to rock. These beings were another hardy and ruthless tribe.
So, okay. Remember the cone, like pine cone things? That's what I thought he was talking about, but now I don't know.
Their leader was
clearly it's not a pine cone.
Crust King Khan, who was able to command the crust of the coral to do his bidding. He resides along with some of his flock in the Coral Tower, a place that could be described as a vertical...
Okay, but this looks like a firefight, actually. Hey, dude, I'm like... I want to listen to the story, but I also...
Coral Reef.
I haven't
There he was guarded by all manner of dangerous allies. But like the Scar, some other creatures within their land were not nearly as tough, but would still pose a...
Dude, this looks... Wait, why didn't I... This could have been the final fight.
Challenge. The Kai were a species of fish, likely hunted for their meat.
Dude, this area seems so cool. This is actually cool. Like, this is actually genuinely cool.
But the spine-beak Kai would use their sharp noses to pierce anyone who came near them. While the crust crawlers were able to disguise themselves within the coral crust to make it seem like they were one with the environment. Creatures like the conchfly and the drisnet also used their sharp points to attack any enemies who dare approach their territory.
This fight was kind of boring.
It was a deadly and unforgiving land, but the people of Karak were strong. Their king expected much out of them, but they were eternally loyal and will put their lives on the line for him. The third group was the creatures of Shellwood. Shellwood is overgrown with plant life and bugs, many of whom seem to exist independently of one another, rather than the shared bonds of the previous tribes. A being known as Nylith is considered to be the heart of Shellwood, the one who is connected to the land's living things. She in some ways could be seen as Shellwood's mother nature. Her presence back then assured safe passage for any bugs who walk across her branches.
Sister Splinter?
Like many forests and swamps here in the real world, Shellwood is an ecosystem run by and for the creatures it inhabits. Predators hunt prey, while those same predators could be prey to others. Hornet notes in her journal that the destruction of the wood wasp nest could be dangerous for Shellwood's order, as removing a creature from the ecosystem could tip the balance. So it's clear that...
So I have a question real quick. Sorry for the pause, but like there's this area, right? And I just remember thinking about this. There's these areas in the game where there's like things you can hear behind a door, but they're blocked off. But I still don't have a way to get to those blocked off areas. You get what I'm saying? So I've beat the game, but I still can't get to... There's certain areas that I still wasn't able to access. It seems a bit strange, you know? Question mark?
Each creature lived for itself and shared the land with the other creatures who also sought to protect themselves. The final tribe was that of Verdania.
Wait, this is fire? What is this?
They were another solitary group who rarely, if ever, ventured from their lands, opting to stay within their territory. Although they did have creatures like the Vendanier and the Kindanier who did defend their land from harm should there ever be any. The land itself was also ruled by two princes, although we only know the identity of one, who was named the Green
we saved
Prince.
that guy. That guy's cool.
The two princes were lovers and equally beloved by their people for the grace they bestowed upon them when they ruled. The bugs of Verdania were especially enthralled by the ways of their ballet of death, using both violence and dance to attack any outsider who posed a threat to their land.
I think Praying Mantises actually
For a time, this was the land of Farloom. Very few records exist back then, so we aren't exactly sure of the relationship between these tribes or even amongst themselves, but we do know that they existed. Eventually, though, a higher being known as Grandmother Silk would come into the picture. A higher being in the world of Hollow Knight is a being who has otherworldly powers.
No, that's a fire.
The Pale King of the Hollow Nest was able
I'm not gonna lie to you. If this was me personally, I would take a pic. I take a pic for my Instagram. This pic is fire.
Sapience, enabling them to think and act with purpose and reason, but only within the confines of his kingdom. Grandmother Silk may have done something similar. For she may have helped elevate a species known as the Farlids and turn them into the Weavers.
I only know
in the end cutscene for a boss known as the First Sinner, we could see a small spider slowly transform into a Weaver thanks to the thread of silk, implying that Grandmother Silk had been behind this. Sometime later, Grandmother Silk seems to have made her way to Farloom. However, the reason is unclear. Hornet claims that pale beings such as her way to Farloom. However, the reason...
What is this ability? He got a boomerang? He also... 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. He's got one extra heart than I did in this fight. That's crazy.
Unclear. Hornet claims that pale beings such as her either accept devotion or destruction, further saying that dominance is something baked into her blood.
Doing this fight a lot easier than me.
Now, pale beings are different than higher beings.
He kind of cheated this playthrough.
The Pale King and the White Lady from the Hollow Nest are both pale beings.
I had to get it out the mud, chat.
But beings like Un or the Nightmare Heart from the Grimchoop are considered higher beings, just not pale ones. So according to Hornet, the pale beings seem to have an innate desire to want worship.
First time you come here, this area scared me so much in Hollow Knight 1. This area is so scary because I was just like, dude, she's about to mess me up. Couldn't find out she's actually a really chill person.
Or replacing the leader of one that already exists. The Pale King from the Hollow Nest was once a worm who renounced his old form to be like his subjects. He would then later serve as ruler, where most of Hollow Nest would revere him as their leader.
This is actually like the peak of Hollow Knight for me.
Grandmother Silk seems to operate the same way, where her goal seems to be the ruler
not this
of
fight
Farloom.
specifically.
But she does not seem to be one of diplomacy.
I love Lace so much.
Grandmother Silk seems to prefer absolute fealty without any objections.
Okay, sorry, I'm going back a lot, but this animation right here is so fire. I love this animation. This is such a cool detail. Because like you think about like Dragon Ball Z and she banging on you for real, and then you get like the dude, like if you can like just imagine what I'm thinking in my head, like Luffy goes for like the Gamu Gamu no Gatling gun or something like that, and then he bangs on you with this, and this is just the effect. No, that's fire.
Seems to prefer absolute fealty without any objections, as her arrival spelled doom for those aforementioned tribes. We aren't sure of these specifics behind what happened, but Grandmother Silk and her Weavers may have defeated these once powerful tribes.
How much of the game have I not seen?
The Coral Tower is completely gone, while many of the warriors of Karak have become terracotta-like soldiers who crusted over and died along with their king. Only one soldier is left still watching over the edge of their land, having stood guard for so long that it's stiffened by time.
No, that's Aura.
Carmelita and the Scar are still alive, but her tribe is a shadow of its former self, with Carmelita herself being way past her prime. Nihilus seems to have died, although the bugs of Shell would continue to exist in their land, so it seems like the land was untouched for the most part.
This is still the area I hate the most in the entire game.
But due to her absence, traveling across the Shellwood can prove rather dangerous, without Nihilus stepping in to assure safe passage. Verdania, however, was spared the
Yo, shout out to
destruction,
this boss
but it
fight.
came at a cost. The
Heavy
other prince,
music.
lover to the Green Prince, had to give up his life, as his shell and soul would serve as mold for the cogwork dancers. Other religions seem to have been stamped out as well.
Okay. Maybe it's just me. I thought she wasn't actually like a good person. I thought she was gonna fight us. Like I feel like maybe I'm the only person that thought that. I thought she was like a bad person who like is actually like a fake friend, and then she's gonna actually like bang on us. Like she's really the silk lady the whole time, like faking it. But I guess why is she dressed like this then? I don't get it.
Chapel Maid near the ruined chapel says that this is the
maybe he's gonna
price for
explain that.
choosing a different path,
Maybe
implying that the chapel was shut down or destroyed. Despite that, there are various smaller sects across Farloom, such as these smaller chapels strewn about the region, and then there's the people of Wisp Thicket, who
What is
worship
this
the
area?
Father of the
Wait,
Flame.
this looks cool. What is this?
This attempt at removing these places of worship was likely to funnel everyone towards their own.
Wait, what is this?
Evidence throughout the game suggests the Weavers were worshipped by the people of Farloom. Weaver shrines can be found throughout the land, and most important are the presence of effigies, which are small objects used in times of prayer. These bugs are praying to specific weavers, like Atla, Weaver of Time for prosperity and grace, reinforcing that the bugs of Farloom had worshipped these beings at one point, although they may not have done so willingly. Ghost Silk on the surface implies that these bugs were lured here by the
That's
Weavers.
Aura. I don't know
So
how
they
he
seem to
got
have
here.
manipulated people
is,
to come to the kingdom and worship them. As for the religion itself, it seems to be one built on song. Much of the game references music, such as these notes, which use the terms measure and beat when talking about quantity. A sect within the Citadel are called conductors, Weaver notes are written on rune harps, and Hornet can also use an item called the Needlin, which
thinking about it, I hated the puzzle the most of the game. The whole game, honestly, I'll play the whole game again and still so mode. But I hate the puzzle. The puzzle is what I particularly hate the most of this game. I just thought about it. It is actually the thing that made it mute. I didn't want to quit as badly on anything else except for the puzzle. And I just thought I'm not a puzzle guy.
Slightly possessed.
I don't cut in my action platforming adventure game where I fight bosses and I get to have cool spells and platforming and all this stuff to go and play puzzles. I said it. Sue me.
Using silk. So this could explain how the Weavers managed to convince the people to come to Farloom. When they got here, though, they were greeted by a wonderfully ornate and gorgeous citadel.
Best area of the game.
The citadel was a rather luxurious piece, meant to serve as the kingdom's holy place. Members of the citadel were adorned in white and gold garbs, thus signifying their holiness. Some were even given further roles within the citadel. Some become envoys who were leaders of the choir groups, while some would become bell bearers, ringing the bells of the citadel throughout the halls. Some of them would even become soldiers, guarding the public from any threats or killing any that happen to be inside the citadel.
In the game.
Regardless of their role in life, all those free of sin are welcomed in the citadel and were cared for eternally. The citadel houses many rooms, including a big spa and a massive dining table. There is also a stage where performances take place, currently run by the great Trobio. The high halls were home of the conductors, who once conducted the choirs of the citadel. Their halls are filled with elegant music, even more gold, and a flowing waterway that passes through their domain.
When I'm studying.
On the other side of this building is the Memoriam Wing. The Memoriam was designed to document and remember life outside the citadel. Here you can find various bugs from Moss Grotto, Shellwood, and the Corals of Karak.
There's like nothing there.
There does, however, seem to be more than just documentation going on here, though. There are larger versions of these bugs and various taxidermied bugs, including pilgrims, that were being used for study. Just below the Memoriam is the Whispering Vaults. Here the Vault Keepers keep records of all kinds of history. Much of what we gaze upon are solemn cylinders played via gramophone, but the environment does indicate that scrolls and reading material seem to exist as well. Many younger Vault Keepers, known as Vaultborn, will eventually, after enough training, become scroll readers, who read and retell many different scrolls. Vaultborn will eventually, after enough training, become scroll readers, who read and retell keepers.
I don't think I've ever seen this enemy though. I just need that to be said. I have no idea what this is. I swear to you, I have never seen this enemy.
Vaultborn will eventually, after enough training, become scroll readers, who read and retell many different scrolls of prayer, while the Vault Keepers specifically handle prayers outside the vaults. Smaller bugs, known as lamp bearers, also help these acolytes by scurrying through the numerous dark and dusty halls of the vault to find the necessary scrolls by using their large lights to help them navigate.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like this little guy right here is harder to kill than the grandmother Silk is, to be honest.
This was the Citadel, and for a long time would represent the power of the grandmother and her weavers. But something happened that would change everything. The weavers seem to have gotten incredibly greedy, and also learned the truth of their existence. The weavers must have learned that they weren't the grandmother's children, but merely bugs she helped elevate. Dialogue after the first Sinner's fight says, "She called us her children. She called us divine. She lied."
Okay.
Grandmother Silk seems to have not told them the full truth of the matter.
I'm sorry. Am I? Who is this? What? Hello? How is there so much of this game that I don't know? We are only 10 minutes in. This is a 60-minute video. Who
And
is
this
this?
set them off.
I
But
beat
what
the
was the first sinner
game.
afraid of? Well, a rune harp in the game talks about eternal servitude, so Grandmother Silk may have had plans to put them under her spell.
We're gonna have to go
This
back
connects
and
well
like,
to their upbringing, as
explore.
the first sinner could have realized that they were creations made by Grandmother Silk, creations meant to do what their master tells them. I mean, it's fair to assume she uplifted them with a purpose in mind, and that may have scared them.
Oh,
To
this turns
assist
into
them in
that.
this
Okay.
rebellion that they had planned, they seem to have created a being with the intent of either rivaling Grandmother Silk or replacing her. Ava is a being you can find in a weave nest. These weave nests seem to have
Ava.
been hideouts made by the weavers in order
This is what I was talking about earlier. This right here. There's like a lot of areas just like this where like I don't know how you open them
to
or how you
scheme
get
and
in.
plan.
But okay, so you just sing a song. Okay.
Many of them are in the lower parts of the kingdom, far away from the citadel, and
That's
many of
probably-
them also contain
Chat. That's probably where all the areas that I haven't been to yet. They're probably all in there.
lore and notes of importance. One contained an item known as the snare setter, which will be used in the true ending to ensnare the grandmother.
I'm sorry. What is that's what I was wondering. He did just say true ending because I'm like, yo, is this black? Am I tripping? Like I just did this fight twice and I don't
Or
remember
next
that.
would also corroborates this by saying, to bind her tight, to keep us free. Back to Ava, she claims to be a child of the weavers, but not their kin. Also stating that she is imprisoned here, but it's not through malice.
Who's
A
Ava?
rune harp near her also says to hide her, the
don't
despised
understand.
child.
She
She is
have
a
a face
wish
or like
cast
what?
vain, divinity mimicked in form too frail. So Ava may have been created with the intent of either defeating Grandmother Silk or becoming someone like her, someone with a sense of divinity and extraordinary power. She may have also been created as a way to sidestep their curse. Ava mentions how weavers can't have children, at least not without it being incredibly
Aw.
painful, so Ava may have
Ooh.
been one of their experiments to solve this. But ultimately that plan had failed, so they hid
Wait,
her
weavers
away.
can't have children. Why?
Their
Spiders
next
have,
plan
like,
seems to have been to
multiple
put her to
babies.
sleep. According to the mask maker, the Citadel was made by the weavers to be a church and a cage. When we first see her in-game, the grandmother is inside a silk ball. It seems as though the
True.
weavers had put her to sleep using the music of the Citadel. The needle in-game allows you
They put her to sleep using the needle. That's your big boss. That's what y'all all scared of. Bro fell asleep to some good tunes. What?
through
Am
small
I
threads to
crazy?
possess bugs for a brief moment, allowing you to read their thoughts. As I mentioned earlier, they may have used this power to bring people in from outside the kingdom,
Wait, low
but
key,
for what
I
purpose?
say that like I don't go to sleep
Not just
at
to
night.
keep their own kingdom
The music.
flowing, but now,
Unless
likely
it's
to
like
keep the
some
grandmother asleep.
Naruto like sleep music.
An NPC in the game is Conductor Balador.
Yeah.
They handle all the music and choir within the Citadel.
Like, you put
He
someone to
mentions
sleep
how
right
the
there.
Mantle of Rule was claimed greedily by Farloom's first children, the Weavers. The grandmother's journal entry also says lulled to
whoa,
sleep
wait.
and
This is fire. Wait, I didn't know she gets her own. Wait. Monarch of Farloom and the primal source of silk. Heart of the haunting, long lulled to slumber and desperate to wake. The higher being's threat stretched throughout Farloom, snaring its bugs and driving them madness and discord. So, okay. I feel like he still hasn't explained why is it when you're binding her, does your silk increases, your health increase, like everything changes. What's up with that?
desperate to wake. Based on these lines, it seems as
Maybe
though
I'm
the
reading into
Citadel,
it or
while built
something.
to be a holy place for the newly established religion, would also be a cage to trap the grandmother, allowing the Weavers to rule unopposed. The mask maker also notes that this was an act of defiance by the mortal bugs, goaded by the Weavers, meaning the Weavers did not act alone.
So, Chad, it's like a Trojan horse. The Weavers are rebelling against the grandmother, basically.
They
I get it
likely
now, I
worked with
get
the
it.
conductors to put this plan into action. Then, with everything in place, it seems like they fled the kingdom. A rune in Weaveness Syndril shows a map of paths outside Farloom, showing us where these weavers would flee to. We remember from Hollow Knight that some weavers had arrived from a distant land and settled here in the Hollow Nest, and now we know what that distant land was. In their absence, the
that's
conductors
kinda
seem to have
cool.
taken over and kept the system going. It's
I don't even
unclear how
remember
long
that
this went
detail.
on, and to be quite honest, I'm also not even sure about the timeline for this next part. See, the kingdom was still operating, but there was
Speaking of distant lands, I just thought about it. I feel like Nightmare Graham could beat the Weaver grandmother. I
many
do.
things
I really
going
do.
on
I feel
inside
like
and outside
I feel
of
like
the
he dips
Citadel
her
to help keep
every
it
day,
running.
all day.
But whether this occurred after the Weavers fled or before is not clear.
I would love to see them like go
Regardless,
head to
what
head
became
on a
of this
fight.
kingdom
Like,
during this long
someone
period
wanted
of
to, like, power
silence.
scale them. I think Nightmare King
The Citadel, as
Graham
grand
is, like,
and beautiful as it
100%
is, cannot
stronger.
run on its own. It needs a constant workforce to keep it running, but many of these places and bugs within them are forced to work in terrible conditions. Under the coral chambers of the Citadel is the Underworks.
Dude, they do be working in
These bugs
terrible
believe in the
conditions.
Citadel
They
and
don't
its
drop
holy power
nothing.
and
They be
work to be
dropping
noticed.
$1.
Some clean the walls,
Literally.
polish the floors, and make sure the Citadel
I've
is
never
in
played a
working
game
order.
where I'm broke the
Even
whole
cleaning
playthrough.
places that are incredibly dangerous, like near the lava pits. While others can be seen checking equipment and supplies and
I
shipping
have
them
no
up
money
to the
on me
Citadel,
right now.
or operating machinery
As we
that
speak
powers
right
things
now.
within the Citadel. And as you can see from their muted color palette and dreary eyes, they are
And I'm at the end
underserved
of the
and
game and I'm
overworked.
still broke. Like,
The
how?
conditions of the Underworks are terrible, thanks to the smog from the deadly machinery. Because of the lax nature and lack of attention from the Citadel, it's led to a troubling work environment, where the toughest among them are using their size and intimidation to rise above the rest. Further, you'd be hard-pressed to find any kind of a break or a single brief period of rest while down here. Near the top of their domain is a bench, but you have to pay rosaries to use it.
Yeah,
Worse,
everything you gotta pay.
once you get up, it goes back under the floorboards, requiring you to pay for it again. Most bugs in SilkSong drop rosaries. Those of the Citadel make for some excellent rosary farms as they drop a healthy amount quite consistently.
Do they?
Those of the Underworks barely have
Guess they
any.
kinda
In
do.
fact, most of the pilgrims you find in
Sorta.
Bone Bottom often drop more rosaries than those of the Underworks. Right next door is also a confession booth where you can confess your sins, although as we discover, it's automated to tell you to go back to work, as that's its instruction to Hornet, despite her not confessing. But see, this confession booth is rather important because that's what all of this is about.
Yeah,
For many
yeah,
of the
I
Underworks,
help
they
this
see
guy.
this as a step in their journey, that soon all these long hours will be worth it. A being by the name of Loam is forced to spin these cogs of these machines forever so that the machinery can keep working. He says that it's tough work,
Who
but
sold
sooner or
this
later his
job to
devotion
him?
will catch the eye of the Citadel, and then they'll have to let him through.
I
In
feel
fact,
so
thinking about his life in the
bad.
Citadel is what motivates him to go even faster. He and those of the Underwork work day in and day out to make sure the Citadel runs properly, all with the hope that one day the people of the Citadel will see their devotion. Beneath the Citadel lay the domains of Greymore and Deep Docks. Notes can be found in both areas, denoting how much material they are meant to ship out at given intervals. So each worker within their domain works to provide for the Citadel. The item description for the map of Greymore says that it's a wide, dim hollow choked by rags and dust. That's because dregs of silk would fall from the Citadel and end up in Greymore. The dreg catchers would catch them when they fell, the thread rakers stake them atop their rakes to prepare for spooling, while the silk snippers would cut and spool these dregs of silk
No,
so that they could be returned to the Citadel.
Yo, this is such a cool villain. Or like boss. They're not boss. I keep saying boss. Enemy. It's a really cool enemy. Really cool like design, fight, how he fights. He goes up and down. Really cool. Really cool.
But the workers not only have to deal with the tedious, unending labor that comes from this position, but mites and craws often walk these lands and will harm anyone that comes near them.
He can
On
like
top
carry
of the
you with
fact
the
that they are
scissors and
under
everything
constant
too.
surveillance
It's
from the
like,
Moorwing,
I don't
a
know,
winged
like
beast purely bred to catch
can fight
workers who
with you
fled
there?
from their tasks.
He did not
Those
help
of the
me.
Deep Docks work to collect smoke rock and sweet melt.
He said,
These seem
nah,
to be
little bro
packaged
got
into
it.
large black shells,
I got
the
other
same
things
ones
to do.
found in the Underworks and the Citadel, showing a clear, direct line of transport for these materials. Most of the workers have to wear protective gear when mining for these materials, but the Deep Docks are incredibly hot given the land's naturally flowing lava, so it's very hot and extremely deadly. Like those of Greymore, each worker has their roles to play, from extracting the minerals to carrying them to carving out new paths to dig within. Within this domain is also the Forge Daughter. She's come from a long, ancient line. She was sent from her forge home at the request of those from the Citadel, with the promise that if she manned the forge, her forge home would swell in holy esteem. But while she mans the forge, much of the day-to-day operations are run by the Forge brothers Cygnus and
Who are these? I was just about to say, who are these people? 'Cause I was just about to say, I do know the Forest daughter, but like, who's the Forest daddy? But these are the Forest brothers. Apparently, where they at?
Ron, who not only work their employees to the bone, but they even discipline
three of
them when they don't perform up to Citadel standards.
This one looks kind of.
But the Citadel isn't so cruel as to force them to break their backs for the company. At least not that much, anyway. They recognize that mortal bugs can't do everything, so the architects of the Citadel have been hard at work crafting
shout out to
automatons to
them
do some of the
architects,
more
man.
dangerous work.
Hey, this area right here, it's actually quite creative. I need to say, like platforming wise, this is a very creative area. Yeah, I did hate this area, and yeah, it did make me. I was clearly very upset on stream, and I wanted to quit. But, I have to say, design wise, architect wise, like the details and everything, very cool area. Very
They
cool
often
area.
handle repairs on the cogs
Just
and
because I was upset this whole time that I was platforming through
moving
here does not
machinery,
mean this was
and
a
can
bad
sometimes
area.
be spotted in
It
the
just means
hotter regions down below, as the heat would be too much
was
for a
going through it
normal bug
already.
to bear.
A lot of stress.
They even seem to
Game
have
just-
experimented
game
with
makes me very
larger scale
stressed,
work
okay?
and even defenses. We already touched upon the green prints on
I'm
the
broke.
cogwork soldier,
I'm
but another
weak.
automaton
I'm
named
hungry.
the Second Sentinel is from a line of sentinels made to specifically defend the
If
Citadel
I go
from any
left, there's a
wrongdoers.
boss. If I go right, there's a
Then
bigger
there is
boss.
also the line of large automatons, These courses, as I assume they're called, seem to be multi-purpose and more likely for larger projects that require heavy lifting or demolition. Despite seeming like mindless robots, though, they seem to display some level of intelligence. The second Sentinel is hardwired to kill those with the Silken Curse, but questions if Hornet is infected too, suggesting the ability to make decisions.
Who is this character?
You can also use the Needle-In on some of them, and they have actual thoughts,
Wait.
one of which even says that we
You can do that? Did I not think to do that? Did I really not think to do that?
are together. Whether this was intended is unclear, but it seems as though not every automaton is capable of this level of thinking. But more than just these places, many other locations within Farloom were oppressed, not by the Citadel's actions, but merely by its presence. Nearest to the Citadel are Sinner's Road, Bile Water, and Putrefied Ducts. Sinner's Road seems to be an old place that they used to lock sinners in.
Yeah,
Cages of various beings, including the Green Prince, can be found within this region. But it seems to have been turned into a home for some of the Moors, such as Kroll and Benjen.
Green Prince is here, but that's the only useful thing in the Sinner's Road.
The Moors were likely living in the Grey Moor.
didn't find anything
The duo
else,
here says that while the Moors catch the threads of the Citadel, it didn't used to be this way. The people of the Moors used to grow a bounty of different food before the Citadel forced them to catch their falling thread.
They got a cool animation when they
Nowadays, though, they
What? No, I'm mad for him.
Grow a bounty of different food before the Citadel.
Brother.
It didn't used to be this way.
What?
The people of the Moors used to grow a bounty.
This dog just platformed off here, got up here. How badly does he want to kill Hornet that he just platformed off here, got up here,
Of different food
turned
before the
around,
Citadel
he
forced them to
emoted
catch
on
their
him,
falling thread.
figured out how to
Nowadays,
bang
though,
on
they've
him.
taken to using
That
the
is
old Sinner's Road as
crazy.
a breeding ground for muck roaches.
That
These
is
bugs breed very
crazy.
fast, so they use them as cattle, which prevents them from starving. These
And you can
ranchers
do
are
it
also equipped with
consistently?
chains
Oh,
and blades
that's
to make sure the muck
crazy.
roaches don't eat them.
No,
The food is then likely taken further in, where Chef Lugoli is stationed. They were a former Citadel chef who was expelled for
Who's
repeated
this?
culinary crimes.
This
So now they
great
return
chef.
to their home, where along with their helpers, they
You
clean and
Luigi,
chop up the
brother.
muck
Now, wait.
roaches, so they can be
Think
served
about
to the
Luigi.
people. They return to their home, where along with their helpers, they clean and chop up
we
the
gonna
muck
call him
roaches,
Luigi, though.
so they can be served to the people. As Kroll
No,
and helpers, they
that's
clean
crazy.
and chop up the muck
No,
roaches,
what is that
so they can be
intact?
served to the
Bro, put that thing on him. That's crazy.
people. As Kroll tells
That's
it,
actually
it's dangerous
crazy.
work and not the most delectable meal you could have, but it's better than starving.
Oh, he didn't die? I thought he
The
died.
putrefied ducts and bile water are similarly filled with waste and other refuse stemming from the Citadel.
I don't know this
Many of the
area.
bugs
I
here
haven't been
carry
here.
this bile in their bodies, causing them to erupt after some time. The only surviving bugs in here are those of the Stilken. Their leader, Groll the Great, along with the Stilkens, continues to rage against the Citadel,
am I
which
looking
chokes
at?
their caves and sees them suffer. A talk with Chakra reveals that the water here used to be clean. In fact, a brief spot far from the Citadel hints at what it used to be. So, like Greymore, there seems to have been a society
Hey,
of bugs
who's
that
that?
lived here, but their domain
like
was
a final
radically
boss.
changed due to the Citadel. Groll and his kin seem to be hostile to anyone not from their domain.
I'm trying to remember who he reminds
A
me
being
of. He
known
reminds me
only
of
as the
someone.
Seeker went to broker an alliance with Groll. He did not like the Citadel either, and assumed that a partnership built from a common goal could prove beneficial, but he was killed and hung when he arrived.
Dang,
While these represent the people outside the Citadel,
my
those of the
gosh.
Citadel have similar
What did I miss? I'm so sorry. I was looking, but I wasn't listening. What did I
reasons
miss?
to be worried.
What did
Partnership
bro
built-
do?
Went to broker an
What did he
alliance
do to make them that mad?
with Groll, and not
What?
from their domain.
I'm sorry.
A
alright,
being
hold
known
on.
only as the Seeker went to broker an alliance with Groll. He
The
did not
Seeker went
like
for
the
an
Citadel
alliance.
either, and assumed
didn't
that a
like the Citadel.
partnership built from a common goal could prove beneficial,
He's a
but
good
he was
guy.
killed and hung when he arrived.
He was killed and hung.
While these
What did
represent
he
the
do?
people outside the Citadel, those of the Citadel have similar reasons to be worried for their safety, for those who have sinned would be punished. Just down the road, cages filled with bugs can be seen next to Citadel guards. These bugs are being shipped off to a place called the Slab. It's meant to serve as a prison cell for those who have sinned. The prisoners are
I remember
bound,
this
covered with
place.
cloth,
This
leaving
place is
them
actually really
unable
cool.
to see, while they have
I like
wooden
this.
shackles placed around their necks. But the guards too have a similarly cruel fate. According to one of the penitents here, the guards used to be
Who is
penitents
this?
like him.
Yeah,
Back
you know
in
what I
the
bet
old
that
days,
is?
one
I
of their
bet
ill
that's the
committed
room
a
that I
sin
can't
that was
open.
so bad
There's
that
a key-
even though
there's
it's
a-
been
there's a-
forgotten to time, their
I think it's
punishment
called the heroic key or something like that. I still don't have it. I don't know where it's at.
continues.
I have to like look up a guide
This
or
bug
something.
and their people would then become the
this
jailers
part
for
right
the
here
new
is
wave of
crazy.
sinners that would inevitably come through.
That was crazy.
But not just them, but their children and their children's children would all be forced into this life forever. For example,
Sorry,
creatures
imagine
like the scabfly are described as young, born and grown in service to the Slab.
Isn't it
This
crazy
is
how
thanks
much
to
of
the
this game I
broodmother,
don't
who's the
know?
one who births all these jailers within the Slab.
We're 20 minutes
To serve
in.
here in this prison in service
and
of the
there's, like,
Citadel is their only hope for absolution.
8
Within the prison,
10
though, are
enemies
boards
I've
that
never
detail the
seen.
prisoners, their sin, and if absolution will be approved. All of them will only receive absolution for their sin and death, with one not even being granted that honor. So if the penitents have no chance for redemption, then I suspect that the guards have no chance either. Reinforcing that life for the guards begins and ends in the slab, while also creating an ironic twist of fate, where the jailed and jailers are both serving life sentences.
And your kid's gonna be in jail too?
All of this makes Farloom sound like a horrible place to live, and it certainly is. But underneath all of this, the reason that so many bugs are likely doing this in the first place is because of their faith. As mentioned earlier, the Citadel was seen as a place of faith. Many of those working on the Citadel's payroll were likely doing this with the hope that one day their struggles would be noticed. But everywhere you go, the answer is clear. Their prayers were never answered. But that didn't stop people from trying.
How do you got faith
this reverence for the Citadel would cause many bugs to become pilgrims and would embark.
But like, how do you have faith without works? That's what I don't understand. Like, what is making them have faith? That's what I don't understand. Why do these bugs have so much faith that ascending higher? I guess low key, you the player also had faith that every single time you went up, I also had faith that life would get a little bit better. And I'm not even joking. Every single day I played this, I thought it would get a little bit better, and so I pushed on, thinking, oh, you know what, it's gonna be a little better. I came in contact with the last judge, and I was like, you know what? After this, no, surely the game's not gonna hurt me anymore. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Now maybe I'm just like the bugs, because I had faith that it was gonna get better to the very end. Oh, that's crazy.
Arc on pilgrimages to visit this holy place.
Metaphor.
Bugs from all over would come to see the Grand Citadel, traversing the path that's been laid out. On this path, there are not only signs that show the pilgrims that they're on the right path, but towns and rest stops for those who pass by.
I don't know, that just hit me.
But the path to the Citadel is not easy, although I guess a pilgrimage isn't supposed to be. Mind and body will be tested during this time, and success not only shows devotion, but faith, an unwavering faith in the Citadel and its teachings. To start, most pilgrims will find themselves in Bone Bottom. It's the lowest part of the kingdom, and the first step on many.
I just like that bro's name is he don't got a real name. He's just a little pilgrim.
Pilgrim's journeys. Those who come in from the surface or caves can meet the like-minded pilgrims who are getting ready to prepare for the climb ahead. It's not clear how the land looked years ago, but thanks to the presumed millions of bugs over the years, their carcasses have actually created a foundation. All across Bone Bottom and the Marrow are the discarded shells of bugs. Reaching the Citadel requires you to climb up to its ornate door. Due to this and how high the mortality rate is, many bugs die during their pilgrimage, many dying atop the shells of their fellows, thus creating this pile of corpses.
Not saying that.
So not only are the bugs required to climb over their own people just to reach the Citadel, but because of how many have died, they literally serve as the foundation for all of Farloom. Removing this mound would cause many structures, including the Citadel, to collapse. It's almost too on the nose to say that the Citadel is built on the backs of others. Despite that, the pilgrims don't seem to mind as they continue to hold tight to their faith.
I'm not even joking. This could literally be someone's desktop background, especially if this is like moving. If you can like afford the fact that like your desktop background is gonna be moving, this will be a fire background. It's just I think so at least.
The people of Bone Bottom are always willing to help despite the circumstances. Some people use it as a way to get prepared for the journey ahead, but others, like Flick, stayed behind, opting to not start their journey just yet, and instead helping others get started on theirs. Depending on their journey, the next stop on their pilgrimage will likely be Pilgrim's Rest within the far fields. It similarly serves as a rest stop for those who have made it this far. Although the shopkeeper that makes seems more interested in profiting off these pilgrims as he charges an entrance fee upon each visit.
Entrance fee is crazy.
He also says that sharing your devotion with him is sure to bring you good luck on the journey ahead. The pilgrims of this kingdom trade in rosaries. They're used as both a sign of faith and currency, thus why so many graves can be seen with rosaries on them. But this creates kind of a toxic society where faith is measured in monetary value. So many either steal rosaries off these graves or barter for them with the promise of extra devotion and faith. Assuming the pilgrims make it this far, they're likely to meet with Kriege over at the halfway home, or Pavo, steward of Belhart. Both once again served as pit stops, with Belhart being the last stop before the final ascent.
Wait, so faith is currency, and yet I feel like the second this is what's confusing me. And I'm not I'm not an economist or anything. Like faith being currency is fine, right? I get that, but then like once you start to like attach it to a specific thing, right? AKA the bees for a rosary string, well, it's no longer just faith, right? Now it's like an actual like you can quantify it physically. So if you can quantify it physically, like I got so much faith, I got 10 bees, which account for, I don't know, 10 faith. then it's just a currency, no? Right? Like it's not faith anymore. Am I
That
tripping?
final ascent requires the pilgrim to traverse Shellwood and its creatures, as well as the sandy dunes of the blasted steppes. But a sign nearby warns to accept the judgment of those on the rise beyond, as those who stand at Farloom's holy crest must be proven pure of will and want.
Visiting this area is actually very
Guarding
cool.
the
I
blasted
need to be
steppes
understood.
are
I
judges,
actually genuinely really
large
like this
gilded
area
guardians
right
who
here.
stand vigilant,
I just hate
ready
the
to
run
pass
back of
judgment on any
the
would-be
boss.
pilgrim.
But this area is
Given the
actually
countless
genuinely
husks
very
near their
cool. Like the
stations,
first
it's clear
5
that
times you
most
go there.
didn't pass.
Now, the
For a
20th
long
time you
while,
go
this
here,
was
it's not
Farloom,
that far.
but one must remember that much of the kingdom was built off the power of silk, and the Grandmother was the creator of that silk. Within the White Ward section of the Citadel, we can find chairs and tools all made for the sake of implanting threads into people's bodies.
Dang.
Surgeons and those within the ward found that silk prolonged one's life. This was a scientific miracle. Eternal life for all mortal bugs. The sheer possibilities of such a discovery and what it could mean for the future of Farloom was captivating. Too captivating. The Citadel then began to run experiment after
What is
experiment,
this area?
using any bugs they could find as test subjects. Hundreds of husks can be found in the basement of
That
this
looks
lab,
fire.
all victims of the experiment, many of them thrown into a pit with the door locked behind them. The souls of these
Boss?
victims, who were so obsessed with silk, even coalesced into the unraveled, their tormented will made
Okay,
manifest.
He's got bad
But
AI,
as they
though.
soon discovered, the silk was starting to take a mind of its own. Corpses
Yeah,
with
that's not
silk
a boss
inside
then.
them can be
The
seen
AI
being
is clearly
puppeted by
not
the very same
very
silk.
good.
Worse, consider how long this could have been going on. As time went on, more and more people were putting silk into their shells, so much so that when they had children, they were already born with silk inside them.
What?
This was the beginning of the end for Farloom. Grandmother
What's that
Silk was
even
able to
mean?
take control of the people's minds using this silk. In doing so, much of the kingdom fell under her control once again. Her ultimate goal seems to be eternal devotion.
I feel like I missed the part. Why were they putting silk inside of them exactly? They just thought it was cool. Like, was it just like trendy, or like was that just like the wave? Like, oh, if you got silk in you, like you're like, you're like the cool kid. Is that what's going on? I feel like I don't remember why.
First, had basically turned the people
well.
of Farloom into zombies, not unlike the infection from the Hollow Nest. Many of the bugs we come across seem to be eternally stuck doing their jobs. The silk from the Grandmother also seems to have affected other tribes as well. It's noted that the Scar are infected with the same symptoms of the haunting, and in a flashback to Verdania, we could see silk covering the
Dude, this
prince's
guy's
home,
so cool.
meaning that even though his lover gave his life to protect their land, it still ultimately fell. But this shows that it does not seem to be an isolated incident. Any bug that would call Farloom their home could be stricken by this silken curse. Though not every single bug has succumbed to its power. Many pilgrims we meet during the game aren't affected by it.
Okay. So some people aren't affected, and that's cool. But I want to know why. So if just being here can affect you, right? On some like I don't know, COVID. There's viruses in the air, kind of thing, right? Okay. Why is Hornet not affected, or is she affected? Like, were we affected? Like, is that why? Like at the start of the game, she was like sick. Like, I don't understand. At the start, she wasn't like, she didn't just. How did she even get captured? I feel like that's the part I don't even understand.
Doesn't mean they never will, but
We've gotten through this whole thing, and I don't even understand how she got captured.
no one seems to know how the curse works and if there is a way to slow down or speed up its progress. It should also be noted that the kingdom is underground. The very top of the map is implied to be the surface, so all of this was built underground.
Wait, why he ain't got no underbody? I was looking at that. I was so confused. Bro ain't got no underbody at all. I think bugs really do be looking like that though.
Similar to the Hollow Nest. Bugs on the surface are not shown to be affected by the silken curse, so this power only seems to extend downwards, although how far it stretches outside the kingdom is unclear. But with a bit more power in her hands, she used her
hey, it's gonna
devoted
touch on what I
Citadel
just
troops
said.
to then hunt for her lost children. In the
Hunt for her
cradle, we can
lost
find similar
children.
cages to the one Hornet will be brought in soon. Notes on the cages list the description of remaining weavers that they are meant to find and where they are located. It also seems as though that these were not the original weavers either, given the text says quarter or eighth part. As for why? Well, I'm under the assumption that she needs them for their silk, possibly so that she can gather up enough strength to finally wake up. But while the bugs were haunted with her silk, something haunted her. The realization that she no longer has any children. The mother in her name is intentional, for the Grandmother seemed to care for those she considered her children. But her actual
Wait, I'm
children
confused.
had all fled and were not trustworthy, so she decided to make her own instead. Phantom and Lace are two beings entirely made of silk. Phantom
Lace is
seems
made
to be
of
a failed
silk?
attempt at making a daughter,
Who
as
is
she is
this?
noted as being too frail. So now she keeps watch over the Citadel's choking refuse,
Lace
as
is
noted in her
fire.
journal entry. But Lace was designed to be the mother's child. She would then
No,
take up
shout
position
out to
as a
Lace. Lace is
sentinel,
actually so
watching over the
cool.
kingdom
Lace is
for her mother.
I'm not gonna lie to
A
you.
mirror
In
in-
all of Hollow Knight, in fact, no. Think of a single character who's like, I love in all of both Hollow Knight 1 and Hollow Knight 2, Lace, the Lace fight, the second Lace fight is my favorite fight in the whole game. And of the whole franchise is my favorite fight. It used to be Mantis Lords, now it's the Lace fight. Lace fight part 2, absolutely fire. Absolutely fire. That was such a good fight. I love I love the Lace fight so much. It's so
Side
good.
Phantom's exhaust
It's so
organ
good.
shows Lace and Phantom.
It's so fun.
Lace calls Phantom her sister, also questioning why the grandmother spun them to break
I did
and
nothing
to
but
fake,
praise that fight that whole
clearly
time.
showing that they don't really approve of their current existence. It may have also been around this time that
I like
some of the Weavers had returned to Farloom.
Widow's
The
a cool
Weaver's
fight.
song charm from Hollow Knight says that those who came to the Hollow Nest when they fled would return. They were fleeing because of the infection that had gripped the Hollow Nest, and probably felt that it was safer in Farloom than there. However, they were likely captured like the other Weavers, and one of them may have been known as the Widow. The Widow is a Weaver, but one that does not have their mask, and also has pins lodged in their spine. This is supposed to prevent them from using their own silk, so it seems like Grandmother Silk had brought her under her command. She would then serve willingly using the haunted silk that she was allowed to use to ensnare some pilgrims, while waiting patiently for her mother to wake up.
Wait,
Knowing that this was the end, a Weaver writes that they will die
in the
waiting
world?
and praying for the day that a being of silk and strength will
What am I
come
looking
and
at?
weave
What is happening? What is this? How have I missed so much of this game? What is this? That looks like Hornet, don't it?
them free. And it's here where our story through SilkSong begins.
Okay, first off, how in the world did she just go from being a baby to a... Okay, anyway, is she a spider? Do spiders shed? Wait. No. Wait. Wait. Is actually a demon spider shed? Am I stupid for that? Wait, spiders shed their... wait, they actually do? Oh. Oh. Okay, alright, well, alright. I bet. That's
During
on
her
me.
culling, the Grandmother had found evidence of another Weaver who escaped her grasp, one hailing from the Hollow Nest. So choir members were sent to the Kingdom of the White Worm to claim the half-worm, half-weaver hybrid. This being serves as our protagonist. SilkSong's protagonist, Hornet, was previously featured in the first game, Hollow Knight. She was daughter to both Hera the Beast and the Pale King. Back in the Hollow Nest, the Pale King needed
If she's a daughter to them two, how am I connected to you, Grandma?
3 dreamers who would
Or-
serve as locks, so to
Should she be calling her Grandma? I don't know.
speak, as they would trap the Hollow Knight in the Black Egg Temple. One of these dreamers was Hera the Beast. As part of a deal, the Pale King was to have a child with her, and that child was Hornet. In her childhood, she lived amongst her mother's people, those
So-
of the Deep Nest, including the Spider Tribe
she
and the other
wanted to have the
Weavers who
kid.
fled Farloom. As she grew, they taught her the power to weave threads, and she would use this to craft her cloak. Hera would watch over Hornet as she grew older, but only for a short time, as she would have to become a dreamer. In her absence, she was looked after by the White Lady, the spouse of the Pale King,
Dude.
and trained by
Whatever this is very cool, but I don't remember any of this happening.
the Hive Queen Vespa.
This is all in Act
She would
1.
then eventually become a sentinel of the Hollow Nest, watching over and protecting the dying
Okay,
kingdom.
I remember this part.
While initially coming off as antagonistic, she would later become the Knight's ally as they both worked together to stop the infection from destroying all of Hollow Nest. Following her duties in Hollow Nest, it's reported that Hornet was kidnapped and taken here to the kingdom.
This is
As she
after
arrives in the
Hollow
kingdom
Knight?
of Farloom
right?
inside the gilded cage, a white firefly can be seen touching the cage, which removes the seal, giving Hornet a chance to escape.
Oh.
As she falls all the way to the bottom,
There was a seal, so you had to seal. Shout out to Hornet though. You had to seal her to lock her up though. You had to seal her to lock her. I don't know how they called her originally though. They must have called her like lacking or something. Otherwise, it just is. There's no way. With all the powers we got, there's no way. But okay, so there's some butterfly came in like okay. So now the question is there gonna be like a DLC to explain that, or maybe he's gonna explain it here?
she dusts herself
I'm
off
getting
and
ahead of
starts her
myself.
journey into the kingdom of Farloom. Hornet knows that if she were to escape and go somewhere else, then she would just as likely be captured again. So rather than run away, she plans to go to the source, find out why she was taken, and deal with anyone who happens to impede this goal.
I like
But to
that.
do that would mean going to the
I wouldn't do
Citadel.
that personally.
So,
I'd
like
run.
the pilgrims, Hornet will have to take her own pilgrimage to the Grand Gate. Just like those same pilgrims, she will arrive at Bone Bottom, Pilgrim's Rest, Halfway home,
They gonna catch me the
Delhart.
second time. I'm
Along
gonna
the
be
way,
so
though, she will
hot.
get wrapped up in a few encounters and meet some other bugs who are here in Farloom for various reasons. Not every NPC in the game has dialogue and events worth mentioning, though, so I'll only hit the important ones. Sherma is a pilgrim who seeks the Citadel like all the others. Garmin and Zaza are a duo who hail from another land and come seeking an audience with the Citadel, as the haunting of the threat overcomes their village as well.
Zaza's name is so cool.
Chakra also came from another village, although she is here seeking her master, who comes to Farloom for reasons unknown. Two women, the seamstress and Pinterest, who are sisters of an order of female warriors, have come here to Farloom and settled in different locations. They seem to be assassins of some kind, or at least an order that practice combat, although the seamstress has hung up her weapons of war. Needle in dialogue implies that she does this
What if you had to fight? Cause she's blue. Or wait, no, my bad. She's red. The other one's blue. What if there's like a green one and think of a color, yellow one or something like that, right? And then you have to like fight the four sword master thing. That'd be a fire DLC. No, I'm cooking.
Mistress worked to forget the loss of her sisters, which could explain why she's no longer interested in fighting. To the west is also the Wormways, which, while rather insignificant, there is an alchemist by the name of Xylitol. He seems to be experimenting with lifeblood, although he calls it plasmium. It carries with it the same regenerative effects that it did in Hollow Knight, but Xylitol's purpose for studying it seems to be in an effort to save his dying land, as evidenced by the needle in dialogue. Inside Sinner's Road and Putrefied Ducks are also two beings of the same species, Styx and the Huntress. Styx immediately sees himself as Hornet's servant and will honor this by crafting her silk eaters, and the Huntress wants Hornet to catch her some meat, as she fears her children, who will eat anything, will turn their hunger towards her. Other than that, there's very little that connects these two outside of their species.
I don't know what kind of animal or insect she is. There actually are insects. Really are like I swear to you, I'd rather be like a beast, but not an animal or not an insect. Insects really will go and like I forget what it is, but it's like some insect. Maybe it's the praying mantis. It's like let's say you're the husband, you mate with your wife, and then I think her and her kids will eat you after. Like brother, what? But after all we've been through, you ate me?
There is also a bell beast in the Bellways who can help Hornet travel throughout Farloom. It seems to be an ancient method of travel, as pilgrims nowadays consider such conveniences a sin. There is also a significant number of Weaver shrines in these lands. While this on the surface isn't that polarizing, each one directly references Hornet, as it says a daughter of a distant land. We who have remained have waited long, find our strength to yours, reclaim the future of our haunted kingdom. This suggests that either some semblance of these weavers still remains in these shrines, or that her arrival in Farloom is something they may have foreseen, and thus left her with some powers to help her on her quest. Although it's more than likely just a general statement, since all the weavers are assumed to be women, given they all refer to themselves as sisters, and seeing as all the weavers left Farloom, all of them would be coming from a distant land. Regarding some major roadblocks on our way to the Citadel, Hornet will have to come to blows with Lace and Widow.
Wait,
Lace
why
is
do we have
simply
to fight
just a
Lace?
sparring match of sorts as she runs away shortly after.
Dude, I love Lace.
But the Widow seems to have used the silk bestowed to her by the Grand Mother to ensnare the townspeople. She also knew of Hornet's arrival.
So like she wasn't a bad person. She was just doing it for a love of the game, right? Is my understanding. Like everyone else is like essentially they're like they have to fight you, but she's just doing it for a love of the game. Like she's just a hater for real. And I kind of respect it.
So the kingdom and knows of her lineages as the daughter to both the Worm and the Weaver.
You know what I'm saying?
Eventually she will reach the Grand Gate, which may or may not be locked depending on how many bells have been rung within Farloom. Once all have been rung, the only thing left in her way is the last judge.
Now who the last judge is and why he's still on payroll, I don't know.
Smaller judges strewn about the blasted steps. They seem to have been around for a few generations though, never having lost a battle, continually judging those who enter the Citadel.
Never lost a battle? And that's horrible.
Once the lost judge is defeated, the Citadel will open, and Act 2 will have begun. Although Hornet may also find herself stuck in a shroud of field of mist. Braving through that mist, she faces off against Phantom, who you'll recall is being made entirely of silk. She's been here so long that her shell has grayed from age. Age has also taught her, though, that she'd prefer a glorious death in combat rather than wither away in decline. Taught her, though, that she'd prefer a glorious death in combat rather than...
She did the... that's fire!
Wither away in decline.
That's...
Age has also taught her...
Yo, chat. We have to fight. You guys have to help me figure out where this person is at. That is fire. That is fire.
Her, though, that she'd prefer a glorious death in combat rather than wither away in decline. If Hornet bests her in combat, she'll gain access.
It's reminding me of Goku. The first time Goku hit that instant transmission. Oh my god. Oh my god, man! I knew Dragon Ball was going places. The first time they hit that instant transmission, I knew it was up. We was on time, and from here on out, I think the first time he does it is like when you see Trunks, right?
Access to an elevator that will take her to the Grand Bellway, giving her an alternate route into the Citadel. Regardless of the method, the Citadel is now open. As she continues to climb upwards, Hornet may discover the first shrine. The ringing of the bell, much like the other bells outside the Citadel, signals to the pilgrims that this is a haven for them, although the caretaker is less than pleased with this news, having enjoyed his time off. To get to the top of the cradle where Grandmother Silk lies, Hornet will have to defeat the Cogwork Dancers, the same ones modeled after the Green Prince's lover. Towards the end of the boss fight, though, only one of the Cogwork soldiers will be killed, leaving just one behind.
Technically, they get paid on faith.
Proving not just how effective they were as a duo, but a sad representation of the Green Prince, and how he must feel without his partner by his side. Afterward, a voice on the loudspeaker tells her that she must perform the threefold melody. Within the Citadel are 3 parts of a melody. Each one represents the 3 groups that make the Citadel what it is: the conductors, the architects, and the keepers. The conductors are the ones who perform the songs with the choir. The architects build devices or whatever is needed from the Citadel, while the keepers maintain records of Farloom and preserve them for the generations to come. When journeying to the Cauldron, Hornet will meet with the 12th architect. All architects seem to be put into this job by force, as while they initially say nature, they follow it by saying directive, then cage. Almost as if they are lying to themselves before admitting their reality. But no matter their condition, they are eager to help Hornet, as the directive states they must help Farloom's first children, aka those of Weaver blood. However, they don't know the melody she seeks. That would be atop the Cogwork core, just below the cradle. The core is notable because it's likely built by the architects. Atop the core is a puzzle, which, when complete, will give Hornet the first melody. To find the melody of the conductors, Hornet will have to talk to Conductor Ballador. He's too sickly to leave his bedchambers and has little to offer other than his melody, further apologizing for the hospitality, acknowledging that the Citadel has fallen quite far in recent years. It also seems as though the silk being woven into this carriage is keeping him alive. The third and the final melody belongs to the Vault Keepers. Only the Pontiff of the Vault knows the melody, but when she arrives, the Pontiff is dead, so she'll have to use the Vault Keeper's gramophone to listen to the melody herself. Once all 3 have been found, the melody can be played. Waiting for her at the cradle is Lace. It's after this fight that Hornet realizes the extent of Lace's existence, that she is a being made of silk and not a real bug like the others. Hornet says the word life in her dialogue, which Lace finds repulsive, preferring to acknowledge that she is nothing more than a husk shaped like a child. However, Hornet reaffirms her stance, saying that while she is unique, that does not mean that life is absent from it. Lace isn't having
this is
any
the best
of
fight
these
in the
platitudes.
game. Best fight in the game right here. I wish if there's a mod out there, I'm gonna download it, and if it just lets me fight Lace just like 100 times over, I will do it. This fight is so fun. It is so fun. It's so fun. I love this fight so much. I love every single thing about this fight. This fight, like everything I look for in a boss fight, is this fight right here.
Though she still sees her existence as cruel.
Love this. She punishes me in all the right ways.
Grandmother only really cared about Hornet anyway.
That makes me sound like a masochist.
At the top of the cradle is Grandmother Silk, the heart of the haunting, monarch of Farloom, and the source of the kingdom of Silk. If Hornet happens to defeat her, she can be seen binding the powers of the Grandmother to herself. The same way she's been binding the other beings' powers to upgrade.
Now, is he going to explain what is up with it? Why am I getting extra silk? Why is my thing changing? What is this stuff here? I wanted to play as this. I'm not gonna lie. This looked cool. This is like the first time, I mean, in my playthrough that I got any upgrades. I thought this was gonna be fire. I was like, oh, hold on, I'm gonna go into to the rest of the game exploring with all this good stuff. Oh, I'm about to be super strong.
Manifest her crests.
And they took it all away from me.
The power she takes from her is immense, and not only gives her a new kind of mask, but her silk bar exceeds far past its normal limits.
Dude, imagine.
She has enough power within her to rival even the Grandmother herself. And that
I feel like this silk. Okay, by the end of the series, I'm essentially understanding that Silk must be stronger than the original Hollow Knight, right?
That is precisely the point. For see, after Hornet binds her power, she becomes the Weaver Queen, effectively swapping places with the Grandmother.
I'm not confident enough to say that,
outside the cradle, enveloping the entire kingdom, with Hornet in the middle, who's now grown a pair of spider legs. This is very similar to the first ending of Hornet in the middle, who's now grown a pair. New threads form outside the cradle, enveloping the entire kingdom, with Hornet in the middle, who's now grown a pair of spider legs.
Wait. That's what happens after. Okay.
This is very similar to the first ending of Hollow Knight, where our protagonists swap places with the current ruler or leader. But of course, this is just one of many endings within SilkSong. One seems to not be in the game though, or at the very least, no one knows how to get it just yet. You've likely seen in the various all endings videos here on YouTube an ending where the grandmother seems to consume Hornet's power. It then ends with her exerting direct control over the pilgrims via Silk. At the time this video's release, no one knows how to get it, so either the ending was cut and it was just data mined from the files, or people have achieved it but aren't sure what the steps are. It's the only ending without an achievement attached to it though, so I suspect it's the former.
I've never heard of this. Wait, that's actually kind of cool, no? Wait, hold on. That's fire. No, shout out to this guy. That's actually fire. That's actually so fire. There's an ending out there where you lose. I don't know why. I like that ending.
Either way, the next ending we do know of is the cursed ending. During your journey, you may come across an NPC named Greyroot. They're a rather unique creature, unlike any of the other bugs in Shellwood or even Farloom. She asks Hornet to help her perform some kind of ritual.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Off topic, I know when Madara dropped that second meter, brother, I would have been the guy. I'm not even joking. I'd be like, honestly, let's think about it. Really, his goal that he's going for, it's not even that bad. He wants to all give us a good life. Okay, I say let's just do it. Let's look into the moon. Let's do it, and just let him turn this into these little cocoon things, and I live my best life. Cause brother, he dropped a second meter here. I ain't never seen a ninja drop a meteor. How has he done this? I'd be hot. It
doesn't go anywhere though.
You want to fight this guy? No, my bad.
Until you deliver her the twisted bud. This crying child is what's needed for the completion of this ritual. If you give this to Greyroot and accept your part in the ritual, Greyroot will transform and constrict Hornet. As she wakes up, she finds herself not only beneath the home of Greyroot, but also with a parasite that's managed to hook onto the inside of her shell. What you are supposed to do is talk to Yarnaby to have it removed.
No, bro, it looks ugly.
Inside of her shell. What you are supposed to do is talk to Yarnaby to have it removed. But if you forego that directive and instead head back to the cradle and challenge her once more, you'll get a different ending. This time, rather than Hornet binding the mother, challenge her to Yarnaby.
My bad. I'm making fun of this guy's face and everything.
To Greyroot and accept.
What's going on?
This crying child is what's needed for the completion of this ritual. If you give this to Greyroot and accept your part in the ritual, Greyroot will transform and...
Okay, first off, that's crazy. I just want to put whatever's going on. I don't care what the context. This is crazy.
Constrict Hornet. As she wakes up, she finds herself not only beneath the home of Greyroot, but also with a parasite that's managed to hook onto the inside of her shell. Hey. What you are supposed to do is talk to Yarnaby to have it removed. But if you forego that directive and instead head back to the cradle and challenge her once more, you'll get a different ending. This time, rather than Hornet binding the mother, the roots of the parasite could be seen enveloping the grandmother instead. As the scene transitions, we could see Hornet now encased in wood, just like she was before.
Hashirama style! Chad, I think I want that ending.
But now one with the wood itself, while noise of something...
No, that's so fire! I was just talking about Naruto!
...is heard. The ritual was complete, and the parasite is now ready for its official birth. What that means for Hornet, or the future of Farloom, we aren't sure, but it certainly can't be good. To get the true ending, however, you will have to do a bit of work. After enough exploration, Hornet will eventually receive the wish titled Silk and Soul. The caretaker asks for her assistance in a manner regarding the grandmother. The caretaker asks if Hornet is ready to face her and take her place. Hornet responds that she is, that dominance seems to be baked deep in her blood, and that replacing her is something she desires.
Wait. So I'm confused. He's saying this is the No.
She is. The caretaker.
I'm going back.
After enough exploration, Hornet will eventually receive the wish titled Silk and Soul. The caretaker asks for her assistance in a manner regarding the grandmother.
Wait, my bad.
The caretaker asks if Hornet.
I just wanted to see if he said.
After enough, be good.
Does he say the words that I think he says?
To get the true ending, however, you will
no,
have to.
He does say it. He says true ending. He says this is so the true ending. No. I'm gonna just let him speak. This is the true ending. The true ending. Let me hear it.
After enough exploration, Hornet will eventually receive the wish titled Silk and Soul. The caretaker asks for her assistance in a manner regarding the grandmother. The caretaker asks if Hornet is ready to face her and take her place.
Okay.
Hornet responds that she is. That dominance seems to be.
Why would she say that? No. I feel like she's tripping. Why would she say that? The true ending is that she's going to become the new grandmother. Why? After all we've done, all we've gone through, why would I don't even think I want to go for the true ending then. I'd rather. No, I'm not even joking. I'd rather go Hashirama style. Take me out Hashirama style. Like why would I go become the new grandmother? Is that why I'm getting all the extra powers and everything? To go and just be stuck in a ball? I mean, look, I get it. Ball is life, but brother, that's not the point of what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to sit there and be stuck in a ball all day. She ain't got no Netflix, no nothing. Like right now, Hornet gets we can go anywhere, right? We can go to a whole different kingdom if we wanted to. To be honest, I mean, grandmother's not gonna hunt us down. She can't. And if she did, we'll body her again. Like, why would we do? I don't understand. This ain't your kingdom. You don't have to. I don't get it. Am I missing something? Why?
Deep in her blood, and that replacing her is something she desires. But part
she desires to become the new grandma. I don't like that. I don't like it. I said it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Resist this outcome, instead desiring a
Hey, as far as we're concerned on this channel, that's not canon.
Solution where something she desires. But part of her resists this outcome, instead desiring a solution where Farloom is freed and the kingdom's bugs unshackle from their current fate. And it's this side that she is currently feeling more pull towards. The caretaker agrees and gives her a way to do so. She will have to acquire a few items though, that being the snare setter and 3 souls. The hermit soul from the Bell Hermit and Bellheart, the seeker soul taken by Grohl the Great and Biowater, and the maiden soul from the chapel maid back in Bone Bottom. These people were members of his family, who had lived here even before Grandmother Silk. Using this and the snare setter, we could defeat her and let the trap do the rest. If you're willing to go through with it, all you need to do is play the needle in after she's been defeated. The snare then clamps down on the monarch, only for the snare to reveal itself to be none other than a portal to the abyss. Tendrils from the abyss come out to pull her down into its clutch.
Maybe he's gonna explain this. The abyss. So look, Hollow Knight 1. There's the abyss in Hollow Knight 1, right? Isn't that like the shade cloak and all that stuff? So, yeah, why does the abyss? You know what? I'm asking too many questions.
Not unlike our time with the Radiance.
I don't understand.
The monarch refuses to go down without a fight.
I'm watching the video that's supposed to explain, and I think I'm more confused.
Grabs Hornet, hoping to drag them both down into the
cold. No, you know how mad I'd be. Wait, what?
Depths of the abyss to pull her down into its clutches. Not unlike our time with the Radiance. The monarch only for the snare to reveal itself to be none other than a portal.
Guys, I never beat Radiance. I'm sorry. I'm on Fraud Watch.
Portal to the abyss. Tendrils from the abyss come out to pull her down into its clutches, not unlike our time with the Radiance. The monarch refuses to go down without a fight, though, and grabs Hornet, hoping
right here, this is when you got me so upset. I'm so upset. Dude, the things that would be going through my head right now is just like, brother, you go. Ooh, I'd be looking at you with the meanest stare, in my eye. I ain't even gonna say it, but I'm gonna look at you and you gonna know it. Like she don't even got a face. I can't even see her face. I don't know why. Is that like a detail? Why can't you see her face? By the way. Ooh, I'd be so hot. Ooh, my eyes would be so hot. I'd be looking at you like, you really gonna bring me down, would you? Really? Now I don't want fair and square, and this what we gonna do.
Drag them both down into the cold, dark depths of the abyss. That is until Lace arrives and cuts off her mother's arm, sending Hornet down below while she and the monarch are consumed by the void. As Hornet falls, she finds her footing and watches as the trap explodes, sending her even farther down the cradle. And as the game comes to a close, we can see the grandmother's silk threads appear from beneath the ground, now covered in the black stains of the void, showing us that the void now has her powers under their command, teasing
the void has grandmother's powers. That can't be what is the void? Okay, I said it. I asked the question. What is the void? I feel like we should be giving the void all these powers. Okay, this is they're getting a little too strong. They got the Radiance. They got grandmother. There's gonna be a DLC that's gonna come out, and the next boss is gonna be the Void, and I'm not gonna beat him. Okay, that game's gonna be harder than SilkSong.
The conflict soon to come.
Oh wait, soon. Oh, I guess the video ain't done, huh?
By soon, I mean right now. As well, the game ends with the credits and everything. If you navigate.
No, chat. No. I'm so. Oh my. No. Chat. This game actually. No, I'm sorry. I've been dissing SilkSong for a minute. But I'm hearing the story out. This is fire. No, this game is actually this game. I'm so sorry. No, I'm so sorry. No, I'm repenting my sins right now. But this game's so fun. No, I got like goosebumps. That's so cool. That's so cool. No, that's actually so cool. Wait, no, that's actually so cool. Oh, this is Act 3. Oh, we haven't gotten to Act 3. Oh, we gotta figure out how to. Oh, that's so fire. No, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool.
To your save, you will see that it is.
No, that's ore. No, imagine your save file. Oh my god, imagine putting your save file up. No, imagine looking at your save file and just being like, bro, how far are you into the game? And you just show them this. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my god, that's ore.
Well, the game ends.
Hold on, I gotta go back.
And
I
by
gotta
soon,
relive this. No, that's so.
I mean right
dude,
now.
even the titles. Oh my god, that's so awful.
As while the game ends with the credits and everything, if you navigate to your save, you will see that it is now consumed by those very same tendrils, looking to not just take Farloom, but even your save file into its pits.
He's trying to. Oh, bro, that's so. No, that's so cool. 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 That's so cool.
After you've swatted them away, you will see that your save does not teleport you back to before the fight where you last rested, but continues towards the game's third and final act.
No, we're doing that. We're doing that.
Act 3 is a completely new section of SilkSong, entirely hidden behind the game's true ending. It starts with Hornet awaking in a white field of flowers after her.
It's hidden? It's hidden? They worked on this for 7 years to hide content this fire? What?
She makes her way down trying to assess the situation, only to run into members of the Citadel, but ones who've been infected by Void from the Abyss. As she fights her way past, she meets with the other pilgrims back at Songclave. From here, she talks with Sherma, who takes on the role of caretaker. Now that the real caretaker...
Sherma? That Sherma? He's caretaker? I just realized what he said.
Taker had left to join his other family members near the ruined chapel. Looking for answers as to what happened, Hornet will set out in search of them. Before that happens, though, I would like to take stock of the situation. Much of Farloom was changed and they
Dude, this is so cool. I don't know the context of what's going on by any means. This is so cool. I know this game actually might be peak. No, I get it now. People who were saying this game is peak, I'm starting to get it. I haven't even played any of this, but I'm starting to get it. Or you guys might have been on this. I'm so sorry for being a hater.
Between Act 2 and 3. So I'd like to go over the...
But I'm not going to repent on Act 1 sucks and I hate it. Act 2 is so much better and Act 3 is looking like peak.
Changes. It will be a stupidly long list.
Bro's fighting his butthole. What?
So I apologize ahead of time, but I do want to be as thorough as possible. As a sort of general change, most if not every environment in the game has been damaged in the destruction. Sometimes it's cosmetic. Other times, older areas are walled off and have to be reopened. Enemies will also now periodically become one with the Void. This also seems to extend to boss fights as well, as while the Forge brothers themselves were unaffected, the minions they send out to attack you become infected soon after. As for the NPCs and locations, Songclave is still holding strong, but the pilgrims are scared for their lives. The bridge from the halfway home is safe, as well as the bar.
Where's all that faith? Where's all that faith that they had? They all had so much faith. All of a sudden, the Void come through, and now y'all ain't got no faith no more.
Bellheart is under threat from many Void-infected enemies. But, having completed her task of finding her master's resting place in the previous act, Chakra has decided to stay and become the town's only protector. Would it not be for her, Bellheart would have already fallen. Pilgrim's Rest is destroyed with Mort seemingly dead as well, although there is no body to confirm that, and Bone Bottom is utterly destroyed, which forces the residents to move to where you first met the Flea Master in the Marrow. As for the others, Lottie, Kroll, and Benjen have likely died due to a cave-in. Loam had died from the collapse, still having never seen the Citadel.
No, that's actually the only thing they sad about. No, not my dog. I lost my dog and I lost Lace. Oh my god.
But needle in dialogue from him shows that in his final moment, he realized he was finally free and that he no longer needed to run anymore.
Run no more? That's his last. Oh my dog.
Vaultkeeper Cordinius survives as well as the 12th Architect, assuming you didn't deplete their stock, of course. Although it seems that Conductor Balador has died.
I ain't gonna cap. If this was me, if I was, what's her name, Hornet? If I was Hornet, I'd be on a crazy get back. Because they done did my dog like that.
Upon using the Bellway, instead of being greeted by the Bell Beast, you'll be greeted by the Bell Eater. Jumping inside the bullet left behind, you must fight the beast before the Bell Beast returns, not only helping Hornet take it down, but also revealing itself to be a mother, who has a flock of beastlings.
That's kind of cool.
Garmund and Zaza are out hunting the forces of evil in hopes of protecting those still left. But sometime later, Zaza will come running to Hornet asking for her aid, for Garmund has succumbed to the Void. Zaza urges her to help him, but by then it's too late, and she will have to put him down. The Huntress...
Dude, there is literally no... Is there no good ending? Is this the bad ending?
Huntress will have disappeared if her quest was complete, or will be replaced with Runt, one of the kids who has eaten her if you didn't complete her quest.
Actually, technically I like Zaza more, but, you know.
Well, Styx will have initially disappeared, but will come back if you destroyed the Void Masses caught in his net. Pinmaster Pliny came by to pay some respects to some fallen near the Greatwood, specifically the grave of someone he loved. He was attacked by some void bugs and would not have minded if he died next to her in this moment, but was glad the Hornet came to save him. While not a result of Act 3's transition, you'll now be able to unlock all the lockets necessary to complete Ava's quest, which results in Hornet binding Ava to her, the same way that she's been binding other beings' powers.
Yeah.
Ava would rather live on subsumed inside Hornet than live in a shell under the ground, and Hornet can grant that wish for her. The Pinterest moved from her residence in the Blasted Steppes to Mount Fae. She left behind a note asking for people to challenge her should they want a duel. Recognizing the state of the world, she wants to die a glorious death in combat. But Hornet refused. She actually came here to test her strength, to make sure she's ready for the Abyss. But she's very determined in stopping this threat. So, knowing this, she says that the world is going to need some strong bugs to keep a watch over things. And Hornet hopes that the Pinterest will be one of those bugs when the time comes. Trobio, if defeated in Act 2, now returns as Tormented Trobio. Compared to the previous act where he was willing to reignite the flames of...
No, I'm already. If they don't hurt my dog Trobio, that's up. That's up. I'm leaving a negative review today. I'm gonna be so hot, bro. Trobio is my dog. Trobio is nothing but good vibes, bro. Like I genuinely don't think anyone can go fight Trobio and be upset, like at all. Like Trobio is such a good time, man. It's such a good time.
With an evening of deadly dancing, now he's become so depressed over the state of the world that he'd rather see it consumed, choosing to now embrace the doom of the coming void. The claws from Greymore will send summons to Hornet asking to meet her. They seem to have recognized her part to play in the current doom, and so have donned themselves in black colors and attempted to kill her.
First off, wait,
the
I feel like I missed
see
something.
it consumed,
What?
choosing to now embrace the doom of the coming void. The Crows from Greymore will send summons to Hornet asking to meet her. They seem to have recognized her part to play in the current doom, and so have donned themselves in black colors and attempted to kill her. A new path near their home is also open, which reveals a small cave where the Green Prince and the cogwork recreation of his lover can be found.
So all of this content is
missable. You can use a new melody learned during this act to travel back a time to Verdania's Peak and challenge him and his other half in combat.
I can't believe that.
If you succeed, you take his heart, and the Green Prince can be seen laying next to the other half in combat.
I was talking for like 2 seconds. For 2 seconds! You didn't kill another person!
This act to travel back a time to Verdania's Peak and challenge him and his other half in combat. If you succeed, you take his heart, and the Green Prince can be seen laying next to the automaton, joining his prince in the afterlife. Going back westward and traveling to the worm waves will see the plasmium fully engulf the region. Both the foundation of the tunnels and the worms themselves have been infected by plasmium. Xylitol 2 has also been consumed by the plant, and in time will become a host for the plant, although he does not seem to mind. His assistant, Alchemist Zongo, has also been revived from the dead thanks to plasmium, and will have to be fought if encountered. And finally, other characters not mentioned like Gilly in Hunter's March, Forge Daughter, Balo, Relic Seeker, Pavo, the Seamstress, Loyal Merglin, and many others are all still alive, but most of their dialogue revolves around acknowledging the destruction, but continuing to do what they were doing before, so no noteworthy changes there. Returning back to the main story, Hornet was looking for the caretaker at the ruined chapel. Upon arriving, she's greeted by the family, who reveal themselves to be snail shamans.
Shamans!
Snail shamans were a tribe of people we met back in Hollow Knight.
Yeah!
Very little was known about them, other than their ability to draw soul from creatures and use that soul in their spells.
Yeah.
This would explain why Grohl was able to use soul spells during his boss fight,
he
took the powers of the Seeker's soul for himself. Hornet calls them cowards for hiding while the kingdom falls to ruin. They claim that their snare simply did what it was supposed to do, so what's the harm? Although Hornet rightfully calls them out for forgetting to mention that they were taking her to the Abyss. They don't apologize for this, although they do admit that they did not expect this to be the outcome. They assumed Grandmother Silk would simply die from being consumed by the Void, but the tendrils throughout the kingdom prove her resistance to such a fate. The reason why has to do with Lace. Grandmother Silk loves Lace, so because she was trapped inside the Void with her, she is fighting to protect her. She's crafted another silk ball like the one in her chambers to shield them both from harm.
I genuinely don't understand what I just heard.
Her love, since their silk would simply die from being consumed by the Void, but the tendrils throughout the kingdom prove her resistance to such a fate. The reason that they did not expect were taking her to the Abyss.
We're gonna hear this whole thing.
They don't apologize for this, although they do admit that they did not expect this to be the outcome. They assumed Grandmother Silk would simply die from being consumed by the Void,
she would die.
But the tendrils throughout the kingdom prove her resistance to such a fate.
And she's fighting back.
The reason why has to do with Lace. Grandmother Silk loves Lace, so because she was trapped inside the Void with her, she is fighting to protect her. She's crafted another silk ball like the one in her chambers to shield them both from harm. Had Lace not fallen in with her, I suspect that the grandmother would have just resigned herself to her fate. But because she is still alive fighting its influence, the Void was able to take hold of her silk, which is why there's...
I'm not gonna lie, that's still cool though. Like, that makes this boss cooler to me. Am I crazy? She's fighting essentially nothing, the embodiment of nothing, and I mean, I guess she's not necessarily winning, but she's holding her own, and that counts for something for me personally. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta give somebody they won, and that's one of her moments. That's one of her moments. That's a peak moment right there. You know what I'm saying? Like you just made me like this character more than I did before.
Seen everywhere in Act 3. For the most part, her plan to hold on as long as she can has worked out, but seeing as they are incredibly deep within the water with no way out, it's only a matter of time before the void takes them. But that's where Hornet will come in. She plans to take down Grandmother Silk so that the void can no longer hold on to her threads, while also saving Lace from the abyss. This would rewrite the damage she's done and bring back some stability to Farloom. But to do that, she will have to actually travel to the abyss, and that is easier said than done.
I get why they actually no. For the first time, I get why they said they were having so much fun making this game. I'm starting to actually get it. This genuinely does seem fun. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. The first part was like whatever, kind of whatever. This part right here is nothing but peak. It's just nothing but peak. It's like if you do stay with the game and keep going, it gets really really good. But man, it's a hard. I mean, it's a long grind. But man, it gets like I'm just talking like story wise. But like man, that's crazy.
The only way to the abyss that exists is in the deep docks. She will have to talk to Ballo and the Forge Daughter and ask to be given access to the vessel. Once convinced, Hornet takes the diving bell down to the abyss. Last time we saw the abyss was back in Hollow Knight, where we learned of the true origins of the Knight and the other vessels. We also saw evidence that an ancient...
I'm gonna have to watch like a Hollow Knight lore video, because I kind of remember that, kind of don't, to be honest.
Civilization that used to worship the Void existed a long time ago.
There's a civilization that worshipped the Void? See, that's what I'm saying. Now, okay. This is what's confusing me, because like Hollow Knight, this is technically the Void, right? No, maybe am I tripping? So he's in the Void. He's chilling. That's what I'm saying. Like, is he stronger than Hornet? Like even at the end, he might be stronger than her. I don't know.
Evidence that could be found within this game's abyss as well. Regardless, Hornet's...
He's bathing in the abyss. He's bathing in it. No, he's got to be stronger. There's just no way. He has to be stronger. He's bathing in it. No, he has to be stronger.
Time in the abyss does end with her finding the resting place of Grandmother Silk, which is, unfortunately, very deep below the surface of the water. Greeting her at the top is Lace, or what seems to be some kind of projection of her. She casually chats with Hornet, mentioning how she's happy.
Dude, this game is so fire. I'm sorry. This is reminded me of Cyberpunk with Johnny Silverhand and him seeing... Oh, that's fire. That's fire.
To make the grandmother suffer.
Him seeing
gleefully recounting the fact that she, the child considered broken, was what caused her mortal wound in the end. Further rejoicing at the thought of the kingdom coming down. Hornet refuses to accept that outcome and vows to save this kingdom in whatever way she can. But diving into the void without a plan would be certain
Hornet
death.
tripping for real. She started seeing visions.
Of a way. She remembers an old flower from her childhood, one that could repel the void. This flower is called Everbloom, although Hollow Knight fans would remember it as the Delicate Flower.
Dude.
A flower like this does not...
Ooh, that flower. Ooh, if only y'all knew. Okay, really fast, quick story time. I've only ever broken a controller once in my whole life, and the one time I ever broke a controller was out of raw, genuine anger that I didn't even know I had in that very moment doing the Delicate Flower mission. Like I kid you not, I've never in my life gone from 0 to 100% anger and just reacted. Like I reacted so fast to I was doing the Delicate Flower mission for so long. For so long, I spent so long doing that mission, and I just kept having a positive mindset and just be like, it's gonna be okay every single time. And then the one time I just couldn't take it, and I broke my controller, and it was just instantly. And after I did it, I had to walk up, and my hands were shaking, and I was just looking at myself like, what have I done? Like I've never been so angry in my life. The Delicate Flower mission is genuinely the most. It's the most infuriating thing I've ever done in all my life. And I was so upset at myself that I let it drive me to that level of anger, but I didn't even realize in the moment at all. It was crazy.
Within Farloom. However, it also
made me like Hollow Knight more because I was so angry. I don't know why, but like that the fact that Hollow Knight was able to get me to that level of anger made me realize that that's peak. That's peak. Like you got to be peak if you're making me that angry. And I still completed the mission.
Convinced that with the snail's magical powers, if she finds the Everbloom within an old memory of hers, she may be able to manifest its existence and bring it to the real world. To do that, a ritual will need to be performed, and it's going to require the hearts of specific warriors that existed far before the monarch came to Farloom. Hornet will have to use a new power of hers to go back in time and fight these beings in their prime and take their heart.
Oh, that's cool.
These warriors are the
that's
ones
why I've
we've
never
already
seen
discussed. Cross King
That's why I've
Khan,
never seen
Carmelita,
any of
Nihilith,
these.
and the Green Prince, although only 3 of these are necessary. From here she lies atop the dais and is sent into her
He just said something that
although
I
only
missed.
discussed. Cross King Khan, Carmelita, Nihilith, and the Green Prince,
There's 4
although
total,
only
but
3 of these
3?
are necessary.
Okay.
From here she lies atop the dais and is sent into her own memories. Through this she can relive some moments from her childhood, and through her conversation with the White Lady, can manifest the Everbloom into existence. With the object of her desire in her hands, she can now descend into the void and save this kingdom. She dives.
So she can't go into the void unless she has this thing. But Hollow Knight can go into the void without needing any kind of... Well, I guess he did need... You do need something before you can go into that abyss area. I just don't remember what that thing is. Remember like the Sending Dark and all that stuff? I don't remember what that's called though.
Into the water using the
I need
Everbloom.
someone smarter than me to do a video. It could be a 2-hour video and I'll watch it. Maybe not 2 hours. 2 hours crazy. Do a 1-hour video. And it's just like, who's stronger, Hollow Knight or Hornet? I need to know feet for feet. I'm leaning toward him, but like I don't know.
As a shield to protect herself from the void until she makes it inside the large silk ball. Inside is not only Grandmother Silk, very much still wounded from the previous battle, but also the final boss of SilkSong, Lost.
The final boss of SilkSong is Lace? No, chat. I literally said word for word. You can go back and find the moment when I said it. I literally said word for word when I was fighting Lace for the second time in Act 2. I literally said Lace should be the final boss of the game because I find her to be the most fun boss of this game. And single-handedly, I think Lace will make the SilkSong a better game than Hollow Knight 1. I think single-handedly, that fight alone is better than anything I did in all of Hollow Knight 1. And I love the Mantis Lords. I need to be understood. I love Mantis Lords, but Lace fight is so good. And you're telling me I get to fight Lace again? So she's the actual final boss of the game? Is Lace? That's peak. That's peak. We're doing this is the timeline we're doing. We're doing this. I don't care how much work I have to go into. I'm just gonna keep remembering I get to fight Lace at the end, and it's gonna push me through. I'm gonna have the mental fortitude of David Goggins. Okay, we're pushing through everything to get to this. This is worth. This right here is worth. This right here is worth. I already liked the video, but we're gonna unlike it to like it again because this is peak. This is peak.
Lace, the same Silkspawn child as before, but now possessed by the void.
Lost Lace.
As Hornet strikes the final blow, she defeats Lace once more and manages to remove the void that once possessed her. But the void has been slowly pouring into the arena, so with her last bit of strength, Grandmother Silk gives Hornet the last remaining threads of her silk, which gives her just enough power to shoot back out of the void with Lace in hand. However, it's still not enough. Hornet and Lace now lay helplessly inside the void, but before it consumes them, an old friend comes by to pay her a visit.
Is it?
The night has
peak. Nope, I'm saying it. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what anyone has to say. It's peak. This is peak. It's 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 actually peak. It's peak. It's peak. It's peak. It's peak. It's peak. No.
the arena.
I was gonna say.
So
it's actually so peak. It's actually so peak. It's actually so peak. It's
with her
actually
last
so
bit
peak.
of strength, Grandmother Silk gives Hornet the last remaining threads of her silk,
My
which gives her
dog.
just enough power
They
to
got
shoot
my
back out of the
dog.
void with Lace in hand. However,
My
it's still not enough.
dog.
Hornet and Lace now lay helplessly inside the void, but before it consumes them, an old friend comes by
An
to
old
pay her a visit.
friend.
The
Yeah.
Has returned.
I have a genuine question. Maybe this is because I don't know Hollow Knight 1 lore. I have no idea how he's down here, by the way. I have no idea how he's down here. But that's still cool.
During the events of Hollow Knight, we learn that the Knight was one of the many vessels
He's going to explain.
created. Has returned.
Because I was just
During
about
the
to
events
say,
of Hollow
what in the world am I looking at? But
Knight, we learn that the Knight was one of the many vessels created by the Pale King to subdue the Radiance. The Hollow Knight was ultimately the chosen vessel, while the rest were simply discarded, left to wander the abyss. Throughout the game, though, the Knight would learn of their origin, reunite the abyss and the vessels, and during the true ending, would reveal their current form, Void-given form.
Crazy, I don't know
However,
any of this.
we briefly saw another form in this cutscene, known as Void-given Focus, or the Shade Lord. This was only accessible during the Godmaster DLCs, but it only appears for a brief moment, and is never seen again. So that means that either the true ending or the Godmaster DLC endings are canon. I'd personally like to see more appearances from the Knight in DLC before I can make an accurate assessment. Regardless of whatever it happens to be, the Knight shows up, takes Hornet and Lace out of the void, and places them back on safe ground while the Knight disappears.
Cool.
Thanks to their effort, Lace and Hornet were saved, and thanks to Hornet,
I wish y'all could see me. I got the biggest smile on my face right now.
Grandmother Silk no longer has to fight to save Lace, and can now be safely consumed by the void, thus relinquishing the void's control over her threads, saving the kingdom from experiencing total collapse. While this is considered the final ending, like in Hollow Knight, if you also happen to find Mr. Mushroom in all of his predetermined locations, then the game ends with him shooting out of Farloom onto the surface, heading to places unknown. Where will the story go from here? Will Lace become a playable character or join Hornet on her next adventure?
No, Lace can't be
SilkSong will be getting lots of post-launch content.
Yo, she got a kicked. I'm not the weirdo. That's not me. I'm not weird. But why is she built like this? I'm not driven right. But my bad.
Then sometime in the future, so only time will tell.
That's on me.
But this officially brings us to the end of Hollow Knight, SilkSong.
It's just, I don't get it.
Before we go, though, I quickly wanted to run through some miscellaneous lore. Lore that I couldn't fit eloquently inside the script,
no,
but did want to mention.
He just made that up, right?
In regard to miscellaneous lore.
I ain't never in my life heard someone say miscellaneous lore.
I couldn't fit eloquently inside the script, but did want to mention regardless. First, in Mount Fae, Hornet can meet with the Mask Maker. The Hollow Nest had its own Mask Maker too, but this one is not the same Mask Maker. Just like the first game, you can also knock his mask off, which reveals a lot more dialogue.
Wait, just like the first game?
Just like the first game, you can also knock his mask off, which
Wait, but he's in the first game?
Mount Fae, Hornet can meet with the Mask Maker. The Hollow Nest had its own Mask Maker too, but this one is not the same Mask Maker.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Just like the first game, you can also knock his mask off, which reveals a lot more dialogue. Hornet claims that she did this to make him lucid, implying that the mask actually manipulates him. The mask seems to keep him focused on his task of making other masks, but without it, he could speak freely.
Ooh.
Masks were assumed to be what gives bugs sapience, that allowed them to speak and think with purpose.
Okay.
At least that's what could have been surmised from our talk with the Mask Maker and Hollow Nest.
Okay.
But with that in mind, this seems to be the opposite, so this is something to definitely keep an eye on. Other than this, he doesn't have much of the conversation, but he does comment on the state of things outside. He also talks about the bird above Mount Fae. This massive bird gives Hornet the double jump ability, and then leaves. He mentions that her legged ancestors, the Weavers, built their chambers and a calling device at the top specifically for this.
I just needed to be said, when I first saw this, as someone that never fought Radiance, I thought this meant I was going to have to fight the Radiance to get double jump. And I cannot express to you how incredibly panicked I was. I was so incredibly panicked that I was going to have to fight the Radiance. And again, and I didn't even fight her the first time in Hollow Knight. So I was going to have to fight her in this game in order to get double jump. Dude, I can't. Oh my god, I was so scared.
I have no idea if
like,
this bird will make another appearance or.
Tell me this doesn't look like Radiance. Maybe I mean, look, I don't know. To me, I thought it was Radiance.
Simply here for this interaction, but it is worth noting. And finally, I want to talk about Steel Soul mode. Just like in Hollow Knight, after achieving an ending, you gain access to the game's permadeath mode. That mode also added new NPCs such as Steel Soul Jin, and the same is true for SilkSong. Styx has been replaced with a new NPC. His whole shtick was that he made Silk Eaters, and on account of this game's permadeath, those are useless. So now you can sell those Silk Eaters to this new NPC for some rosaries. In the Blasted Steppes, you can then find Steel Seer Z. Hornet recognizes her kind, likely due to her past interactions with Jin, noting that Z's masters have likely taken an interest in this place as well. Z is a mission for Hornet that she can undertake. Z lost her vassal somewhere in Farloom and needs to find them before Z's masters send their wrath upon her. You are then to find 3 rest places throughout Farloom, which seem to be different for each player. After finding all 3, Hornet tracks them to a secret cave in Bone Bottom. Here we find her vassal Sula trying to summon the Void. Sula explains that they couldn't take the constant pain that they were seeing. The land dying, the pilgrims falling, it was too much for them to bear. Sula also drops the term Steelhearts, which finally gives us a name for Z, Jin, and their people. These Steelhearts seem to care not for the prosperity of the land, nor its people. They only seek to observe the goings-on of the world, and that's all. This is likely for some higher purpose we can't possibly imagine just yet. Sula can't take it anymore and summon the strength of the Void to try and save the people. But Hornet stopped them, knowing full well the price paid for toying with the Void. Recognizing the nuance of the situation though, Hornet decides to let Sula go. Informing Z of the mission, she says that this escape matters little, for Sula will be hunted till the end of time. Hornet says that this may be preferable, as being free is better than servitude. Although this kind of complexity is too much for Z, who requires some time to think about the matter. But ultimately she does come around to sharing the same hope that her vassal will live free, and hope that her master will still see her loyalty. She then gives Hornet a reward, which she claims is from where she was born, and then says that for now, she will continue to watch and observe. With this questline and the mention of Steelheart in the City of Steel, hopefully we can expect more from the Steel people in the future, especially since a character seems to be missing from the roster. Steel Assassin Sharp was teased before Hollow Knight even came out, but does not make an appearance in-game. So it seems as though Team Cherry will be adding more Steel Soul content in the future. Only time will tell, I suppose. But that wraps up the other odds and ends that I wanted to mention. And so thank you all for watching today, and I hope you enjoyed. I plan to make more videos like this in the future for when the DLCs come out, and then I'll come around at the end and cover everything, base game and DLC included, in one giant video, to put a neat little bow on everything. In the meantime, I have lots of other games I plan to get to first, so if you like this video, feel free to check out the rest of the videos on the channel.
That's actually fire. Dude, I wish you could like double like. That's so fire. I want to see what it comment. Congrats to the Pale King for the least. Right. Congrats to the Pale King for the least worst hire being award. I get it. 1 hour fully edited, all acts, chronological order, context for everything. Do you even sleep since the game? No. He did this. When did this video come out? 2 weeks ago? The game, SilkSong has only been out for like a month, right? Like literally a month? No. Yeah, about a month and 3 days. Crazy. He did this. Well, he did it 2 weeks ago. I guess, and it's still very impressive considering we just beat the game. But like, if you're playing the game every day, it probably took a lot less time. It took me what 22 hours to beat the game. That's not that bad. I could actually see how. No, but I beat the game. He did a whole lot more stuff though. And he understood like the context and the lore behind it. He had to make and then he made a video on top. No, actually, shout out to him. No, he shout out. I'm honestly undermining how much effort that probably took. It's so weird to realize the Pale King actually had a beautiful, happy kingdom compared to what Far Loomis Citadel was. Dude, literally though, that's actually crazy, no? That's actually crazy. Wait, hold on. Comment seems like interesting. We'll get like 2 more comments. The Pale King and Silk Mother are fascinating counterparts. The Pale King cares for his kingdom, but not his children. He did care for the one kid, though, no, right? But I guess the one time he did care, he messed up. And the Silk Mother is the opposite, caring for her subjects. Caring little for her subjects, but caring about her children more than herself. It's reasonable to see the king as a neglectful and nice turns parent, and the Silk Mother as a controlling one. I guess that kind of begs the question: would you rather be the Pale King or would you rather be the Silk Mother? I mean, I'm choosing Pale King all day, every day, personally. Maybe that's just me. I mean, look, loving on your own kids and everything is cool and all, I guess, but like, I don't know. I guess. I mean, you're making a good argument because like, you care about the people that you. I mean, these are your people as opposed to caring about other people that aren't. I mean, it's. I still think I choose the Pale King though. It's like what he did was the greater good for the world though, whereas what she did, it's just like kind of selfish, no? Huh? Wait, hold on. This comment actually got me thinking. What? I did think in the end, despite his efforts, the Pale King did care for his children. See, that's the other thing too. I kind of feel like he cared. He cared though. Like I don't. Maybe it's because I don't understand the lore of Hollow Knight, but I feel like he cared enough, right? I mean, as much as you could. His kids didn't even talk. Hollow Knight didn't say a single word all game. Like how much love can I really give this little guy? You know what I'm saying? Like he don't ask me for nothing. He never complain. Honestly, he the perfect kid. Because it was him that instilled the idea into the Hollow Knight in the first place. Wait, did I miss something? He did care for his kid. Oh, since it was him that instilled the idea into the whole night in the first place, and he felt immense guilt for what he had done. Mm. Oh wait, I thought the Silk Mother is more like the Radiance controlling bugs through their will. The Pale King gave up his worm form to make himself more like the bugs he gave free will. That's a cool thought. I also now realize that the White Lady is the exact same being as the Grey Root, albeit. Oh, they're talking about that's the wood ending that they're talking about. Yeah, oh, that's fire. Yeah, I guess they are. Just right. I mean, I think so. I think I understand. All right, let's see if there's any. Jacksepticeye's here. Oh wait, nice. That's fire. That guy's cool. Ooh. Okay, wait. Hornet does not possess the enemies using silk with. It forces them to sing in their thoughts. It also reveals the silk strings from silk that control. You play the needle and two bees there. Okay, I mean that's cool. I like there's a funny. This is like there's a guy that made like a Hollow Knight lore video. Um, I think they're referencing that guy. Yeah, shout out to this video. This is really cool. It is 3 a.m. for me, so I am going to be getting off here. I'm gonna go ahead and save my game here. Oh wait, where are we at? Oh yeah, it's just doing this. We just completed the game again. Yeah, we beat grandmother the first time, by the way. Well, okay, first time, the second time we fought her, but just regard first time. Okay, we beat her first time. Okay, next time we go through this game, what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to figure out how to get the ending. I don't know the next time I'll stream, but we're trying to get the cool ending with lace and everything. We're gonna go through all the steps that they're gonna take. We're looking probably gonna have to look up a guide. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not competent enough to figure out how to do all that alone. But we'll try to figure all that out, and then we will go there. I think, is there anything else? How many hours it's gonna take me? I'm at 27 hours without doing any of that. I mean, you know what? The other thing I want to do too is I've heard that there's like builds and things that are out there. Maybe we'll figure this out along the way. But there's like builds and tools and items out there. I want to try some builds out, like Elden Ring. We'll try some of those things out. That'd be cool. Maybe we'll stream this week, but it depends. I got tests and study. Very iffy, very slight chance that we stream. We're kind of doing a off stream time right now anyway. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give that a try. That's gonna be the plan for next time. Dude, I like that I have a goal, man. This is cool. Anything? Any achievements? What do we got? Oh, I can see some of the stuff that we're missing. Oh, like some of them are hidden. Oh, yeah. Dude, look at how much hidden content there is. Crazy. Maybe if we ever get good enough, we'll do the speed run. I do want to do the speed runner one of these days, but not. First of all, I wanna try to 100% the game. Yeah, we'll try to go for a 100% in the game if possible. That'd be cool too, right? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But all right, I'm gonna head out. Thank you to everybody that tuned in, watched with me. Hopefully y'all had a good time, and hopefully you guys have a good night. I am headed out. All right, see you. Peace.